we'll guide you through the basics of using silver clay, including how to plan your designs, cutting and shaping, firing and polishing. The full course includes 20 grams of art clay, use of all relevant tools, a buffet-style lunch and refreshments, a tour of the studios, a chance to meet the presenters, and a visit to our Gemstone Museum. All of this for just £109.95. For more information, contact our call centre on 0800 644 655.
When shopping with Jewellery Maker, you can add as many items to your order in one day and only pay one postage and packaging charge. We have 2 delivery options. Standard delivery at just £2.95 and you'll receive your parcel within 4 to 6 days. Or opt for our premium delivery at just £4.95 and you'll receive your parcel within 3 to 4 days. Happy shopping with Jewellery Maker.
We all know having the right tools for the job is important, so we here at Jewellery Maker have designed a toolkit which includes all your essential pliers for jewellery making, including round nose and flat nose pliers, wire cutters, as well as a bead reamer, snips and tweezers. You've got everything you need for just £9.95. We provide the tools, you provide the skills. Get creative with Jewellery Maker. Jewellery Maker course gift vouchers are now available. You can choose from a bronze, silver or gold voucher. Each voucher is worth a different amount that entitles you to put towards a course of your choice. For more information, contact our call centre on 0800 644 655.
Good afternoon everybody, welcome to Jewellery Maker and welcome to Designer Inspiration. Started off well, I tried to make designer and jewellery one word. My name is Rebecca Redican and today, you may well have guessed, we are joined by the absolutely wonderful Gill. Hi Gill.
Hi Becky.
How are you?
I'm very well but a little short of sleep I'm afraid.
Oh no, why?
Because I ended up operating on a 1-day-old baby at 3 o'clock this morning and then drove down afterwards. So
oh no, how did it go?
The operation's fine, baby's fine. Good. But if I sound a little not with it later on, I apologise up front.
Oh, not a problem at all. I'm sure that's not a problem. You look like you have had a heck of a lot of fun with these 2 kits that you've got today to show us.
I've had a fantastic amount of fun. They're so different, so versatile and a real challenge. Pip picks the kits and materials for us and he helpfully sent me a cabochon and I've never ever wrapped a cabochon in my life, so it just proves that if you know the skills and you've watched often enough, you can do it.
Because when you look at these cabs, you could never for a minute imagine this was the first time Jill has ever wrapped a cab. Take a look. You couldn't tell at all, could you? It's absolutely fantastic. That is our second designer inspiration kit that we're going to be having a little look at today. And the first one, you have been treated to pearls galore realistically here. Lots of bits of mixed media in this kit as well, isn't there?
I was sent the pearls, my favourite wire, which is an add-on to everything pretty much that I do, and then loads of the wax cord to Kumihimo with, and that's quite a challenge because the pearls don't take most of that lot through. Yeah. So I've actually used quite a lot of monofilament. So for those of you that got big stashes of monofilament, I've got a use for you, along with those fantastic designs from Alison yesterday afternoon where she used bucket loads of it as well. So
fab. So it's good one to use up all your odds and ends.
Yes.
You got beautiful Kumihimo, absolutely stunning wire work. Cab wrapping, just absolute amazing amount today. I cannot wait for the variety we've got. Whereabouts would you say for each of these 2 designs people need to be? Is any of it beginner's techniques or are they quite advanced pieces? Because they look elaborate.
I think individually no one thing is particularly complicated, and that most of the pieces are made in segments so that you can build up as you go. Brilliant. So it depends on what techniques you have already under your belt, but as I say, I'd never wrapped a cab but was happy working with wire and have managed it, and then I with the Kumihimo, I wanted to do something that was a bit different, so I thought about Chinese frogging and just went for it.
Say that again to me, Jill.
Chinese frogging.
What is that?
It's the way that on Chinese dresses they make the attachments for closing things, so the buttonholes with the little knots on them. It's called frogging.
Wow, I did not know that.
So I thought a bit about that and took the Kumihimo and then used the needle and sewed it all together.
I cannot wait to see how you've created these designs. I think there's really wearable but really elaborate nighttime pieces, daytime pieces. I think you've covered all bases with this, Jill. I think it's just a wonderful collection. I'm so excited to see it all. Now we have got Jill until 5 o'clock this afternoon, so that means two things. Number one, it means you can get involved and send in any questions for the lovely Jill that you might like. All you need to do is text us. 60777 is your text number. Start the text with the word JM Studio, so you know it'll wing its way to us. Any questions you might have for Jill. For example, Jill, what was your favourite subject in secondary school?
Chemistry.
Chemistry. Why?
Because I just love the way that things mix together to make something completely different, and I guess that's probably why I love gemstones, because a single element can completely change what a gemstone looks like. The beryl family is a good case in point, isn't it?
Very true.
Yeah, change the trace element and you've got beautiful but very different colours of stones. So.
And in fact I have tourmaline on today, which is exactly the same, isn't it, with that?
It certainly is, yes.
So if you have any questions like that, or jewellery making related, do text us 60777. You can go on the website as well, which is jewellerymaker.com. Just type into the box, so send a message to the studio, give us a little message in there if you have any questions for the lovely Jill. Point two of what we need as well, the challenge. You have got quite a selection here.
I've got a beautiful selection
You
here.
really, really do. 3 strands of this challenge. If you're new to us here at Jewellery Maker or at Designer Inspiration, I'll explain to you a little bit about what a challenge is. What we do is we set our wonderful guest designers a couple of challenges throughout the day, whereby we'll give them a selection of, for example, in this case, gemstones, and they will be able to work their magic on it. And at around 4:45, just before the end of this afternoon's show, we will show you exactly what they've created. So, your first strand is a strand of huge shell pearls. What do you think of these?
They're stunning. They're such a pretty blue and they're so uniform because they're shell pearls, and they're, by comparison to the freshwater pearls, which are becoming much more expensive, they're just a really good value stone that will work in so many ways. Bridal springs to mind, but you could use them for pretty much anything. I think they're lovely.
You really could, especially with that powder baby blue that we've got running through here. That's going to work with any tone, isn't it, really?
It is. You could go very neutral, so clear as crystals, or you could go completely the opposite and go for a real contrast of colour and to set them off. They are stunning and beautiful.
They are beautiful, aren't they? And in today's, we're going to be pairing them with some of the clear that we were talking about. 2 strands of stunning white quartz. I've got a strand, in fact, that I've not seen before. You've got beautiful top drilled pear drops of our quartz. This quartz is 80 carats worth and they are 10 by 8 mil. And these are the ones that I don't think I've seen before. Look at those top drilled diamond square shapes. 130 carats worth we have, and they're 10 mil. What do you think of these two together?
I think they're beautiful, and I think the 2 different shapes will add a real difference in texture to whatever you're doing. The simple flower technique will just look very different depending on the shape and the cut of the stone that you've made. And I think that the squares will nestle together nicely. I think Debbie Bulford did one at the weekend using blue stones with them, and she got them all nestled together to give a very angled appearance, which is different to the more rounded, softer edges of the pear drops.
I think it'll really give a different look. Have you got any ideas initially that spring to mind when you're seeing these?
I think I will go delving in the drawers and see if I can find some wire, and I will almost certainly go down the flowers route with the wires and those stones, because I love flowers and they're universal, and most people, they speak to most people, are suitable for all occasions really. So I'm going to have a go and see where we go.
Fab. I cannot wait. I also cannot wait to show you the price. £20.35 is not the price we're going to be staying at. That's the price that if you were to go online right now, you'd buy them all for, including any discounts we might have on our website. That would be your price. Today though, £14.95 for you for all 3 of these strands. Please remember for me here, you have got the very, very workable selection of your clear quartz and your shell pearl. Shell pearl, of course, is giving you that pearl-like look, almost that pearl-like luster, but they're so much stronger than the pearls themselves, in the sense that you don't have to be worried about wearing perfume or deodorant with these. You don't have to worry about going to the gym perhaps and wearing them. It's not a big issue at all with the shell pearls. You've got that strength in there. You've also got the ridiculously workable clear quartz, which we know on the Mohs scale it's right up there in hardness, but because it is got that beautiful clarity, it's just going to go with everything. Sometimes referred to as the chameleon of the gem world, and you can see why with this. You can actually see it picking up some of that beautiful baby blush blue from the pearls themselves. It's a lovely selection. I cannot wait to see what you're going to do with these.
Thank you. It's a truly beautiful collection, and you look at that price at £15, the amount of work that's gone into cutting those clear quartz stones is phenomenal, and to think that you can buy them for that price is crazy. It's the sort of thing I'd be buying 2s or 3s of just to put in my stash to have, because they are just so versatile. I said I had a huge box just full of clear gemstones, just because they are just lovely and they work with everything, and they're a real go-to.
And for me, it's really unusual to see these shapes as well with the clear quartz, especially the top drilled squares. It's quite an unusual shape to see, so maybe it's something you're missing out on. You can add it to your basket today. Let's face it, it's working out just under £5 per strand, so you're getting yourself an absolute deal today, Jill.
Thank you very much.
I will leave those in your capable hands.
Thank you very much.
I'll be heading over to you in a wee while. You guys at home, come with me, because I need to give you a little bit of a heads up as to what we have got going on today's show. Rebecca Redican, presenter on Facebook. I've given you a little heads up of what's coming up today. And one of the things I mentioned to you was a trade show leftover price. And I'm going to start off with that right here, right now. Today, I have also got coming up for you that beautiful tourmaline that I spoke to you about earlier. I have got cord pack, and I mean such a variety of cord. You've got over £14 saving coming up on that. I have got amazing kits and bundles with huge price drops, and I have one of the most beautiful ranges of Opal as well coming up for you. And do not forget, brand spanking new chain. All 5 of these are coming up together. You've seen the shape before, but you haven't seen this colour. It was a sellout within minutes when I did the other colourway of this for you on Monday, I think it was it? It's going to be a sellout again today, and we have done a cheeky little price on this in the rose gold introductory price, which means that the first time you buy it right here, right now, that's your best time to buy, because it will be going straight back up in price after 9 o'clock. Let's start off with your cheeky little trade show offer, shall we? I've got an essential stasher here for you. 5 packs of your silver coloured findings. Take a little look at all of these goodies. You have got a huge amount in here. You've got a selection of head pins. Now, how many of these flower head pins are you going to be getting? I've got 1 here. I presume it's more than that. How many of the flower ones do we get? Hilarious if you did just get 1. 15 you get of these in total. You get 15 in each pack, so you're getting 5 packs. So you get 15 of these flowers. You can see they've got the flower detail there, and then they are the head pins. You've also got the feather weight head pins again, which I have 2 of here, but you will be getting 15 of in each pack again. You've got a beautiful, you will be getting pairs of shepherd tucks. This is just an example of one. You will get a pair. You will get pairs of these. This is one with your gizmo coil, and then you've got one just with your ball detail as well. You've also going to be getting the toggle clasps. These are some of my favourite toggle clasps that I think we've ever had. You've got the kind of high shine brush detail on the outside, and then you've got that knotted detail on the inside that's then mimicked within the T-bar. Please remember you're getting 5 of all of this, so you'll be getting 5 of these in the pack. Loads of jump rings. You'll also going to be getting one of the most popular of all the chains that we've ever had within a findings pack. Have a look. Don't forget 5 of these you get, so you're getting 5 meters worth of this most beautiful Figaro chain. The Figaro, of course, detailed by its large twisted oval loop link interspersed with a small figure of 8 linking chain. It gives you texture, it keeps it dainty and delicate, but you've also got enough space within there for great charm bracelets or clusters of drops. A wonderful selection that you can create in here. You're also, of course, getting the findings bags within there. Each one of these bags, every single one has got what you've got on that screen there, including our extendable S-shaped clasps, which you get 3 of in each pack. Now, it's a trade show price, and what we mean by that is the price I'm about to give you right here, right now, is for you to stock up on. It's for you to be getting your hands on plenty of these. This is going to be a price that if I or Gill or anyone else who worked here went into the staff shop and tried to buy these, we'd actually be paying more than you're about to pay right now. Now it's the silver, so it's silver plating over the top of this. We know that the silver plating copper findings pack, we're normally looking at the price tag of £7.95 each. That means that to buy 5 packs, you should be paying £39.75, which is quite a lot of money if perhaps you just make a few pieces for yourself, for your family members as a hobby. If you do it, you know, to sell your pieces on, you know, if you go out there and try and buy that amount of findings anywhere else, you're going to be paying double, if not triple that for such a selection. The fact of the matter is, today we want to bring you and give you the opportunity to take this so low in price that even if you do just make for hobby, even if you do just make for your friends, family, gifts, presents, even you are going to need to get your hands on this, because genuinely, if any of us tried to buy this now at staff prices, we will be paying way more than you're about to. It's not £40. It's £20 for you today. On the nose, £20. There is loads of you getting in on this today. £20 for you for 5 packs. Now that means that these are normally £7.95 per pack. Today though, what are you getting them for? £4. £4 per pack. That was me doing my £5 table on my hand, by the way. £4 per pack. There is a crazy amount of you coming in right now. Well done to people who did check out before I told you the price. You knew I was going to do you a stunning deal on this today, and I absolutely have. If you're loving deals like this, then you're going to have to get in quick, because as always with deals like this, it is a very limited number that we're able to offer you. We are opening this up to multi-bids today. I'm sure you know sometimes we won't be able to open up to big multi-buys on deals like this, but today we're able to because we've got a decent enough number. But that means that, and because it's such an amazing price, it's basically half price per pack, isn't it? If it's normally £7.95, let's round that up by 5p to £8 per pack. You're actually getting them for £4 per pack with this offer today. Now that means that loads of you are getting your hands on this. That means that loads of you are getting this offer, and that means you're gonna have to be quick to get your hands on it, because I've got multi-buyers left, right and centre. People from all over the country, all over the world getting their hands on this today. It's an essential, isn't it? Let's face it, it's something that you need. I've got a quarter of my stock already gone. Quarter of the stock already gone in a minute, pretty much. So that goes to show you how quick you're going to have to be. It's going to be a sellout, we know that already, because of this amazing deal. For the variety that you've got here and for the versatility that you've got, £4 per pack. I've paid more than that for just 3 toggle clasps in local stores before. I've paid way more than £4 just for 3 toggle clasps. Fact of the matter is, you're getting 5 toggle clasps. In fact, you're not, because you've got 5 of these heart toggle clasps, you've got 5 of the plain loop toggle clasps, you've got 5 of the twisted toggle clasps, and all the other findings at a quacking price. Just £4 per pack. It's one of those things, if you're getting ready for Christmas, which I know to some of you may feel like a very, very long time away, but if you do your craft fairs, I'm sure you already know you've already started doing your Christmas goodies. In fact, we've got a Christmas show coming up next month, I noticed. We've got a Christmas show coming up in July. Why not? That's coming up, but it's important to get yourself started and get yourself on it quickly, because at the end of the day, you know when you're crafting and when you're making. I've got over 100 of these gone now. I just need to let you know that half my stock's gone. When you have got all of that crafting to do, the worst thing that can happen is you're properly on a roll with something and you just don't have the essentials, the mechanics, the professional touch finish that you want. With this pack, getting yourself a couple of these today, you can guarantee that you will have that. And I've got to say as well that if you have loved this finding kit, this has been one of our most finding kits of all time, with that Figaro chain, which you absolutely adore, and also with all the spacers and all the extender toggles and cords that you get in this. It has been one of our most popular. We are getting new ones in different types, different feels. That's why we're giving you this discount. That's why you've got your last chance now to purchase this variety of findings at a stunning £4 price. That's it. I've got over 100 of these gone. I've got around 50% of my stock left. You're going to have to be really, really, really quick on the phone lines for this. Don't forget, you get your findings bags as well, your organza cords in here. Everything you can see on screen now, you're going to be getting your hands on. Hello everyone, people in Somerset, Devon, Menorca. Patty Menorca's back, Ryan. Patty Menorca. You've got, where else? I like finding unusual places, don't I? Aberdeenshire, that's not that unusual, to be honest. I could have come up with better. Wiltshire, where's Wiltshire? Anyone? Down south, is it? I always say down south. I think that's something of like living as a northerner. If you say down south, you're gonna be quite close, aren't you? Hopefully that'll be right. Cornwall, but it's beautiful in Cornwall today. Cheshire, hello Lillian, how are you, love? Came from Cheshire this morning. Raining, horrible, horrible. £20 for you today. Jill, findings, discuss.
Absolutely essential, never can have enough of them. It's just really frustrating to run out when you're in the middle of a project. Couldn't live without them. I've got drawers full of them at home, and whenever they're on offer, I just stock up. I know Mark keeps to a set budget, but I tend to just really stock up when they're at such a good deal, because you'll use them no matter what happens. You just can't make a piece of jewellery without having some findings. Mm-hmm. And so at that price, I'd go for it. That's just incredible. I mean, if I was at home, I wouldn't be ordering one set, I'd be ordering 2 or 3. I might not sell lots of my jewellery, but I certainly make masses for gifts for people, yeah. And just couldn't live without them.
They are an absolute essential, aren't they? I am going to move on because I've got a very small amount left. Stay where you are on the phone lines. We will be with you. 0800 6444 655. That is your number today. Give it a call. Get yourself involved. Where are you saying we're going, Scott? I've got sales manager Scott as my producer today. You know what that means. ridiculously amazing prices. Ooh, some more findings. Can I have a blackboard, please, somebody? Thanks, Petey, mate. How are you, Pete?
I'm alright.
You all right? What'd you get up to on your days off, love?
Went to another buffet again.
Come here. What did you just say?
Went to another buffet again.
You went to another buffet?
Yeah, another one. I think that's about 3. And
I know. Well, last time I spoke to you, you'd been to
we've
2.
been to 2, yeah. And then went to another one, so yeah.
Pete, buffet crasher, I think it's safe to say. Who are all these buffet people, you know, Pete? Buffet? I never get invited to buffets. I'm hanging around with the wrong people, aren't I? You have got another little stash topper here. I've got to say, it's the first time I've seen these. If you're into lariat style necklaces, if you're into no hassle clasps, if you're into creating your own cufflinks, then this is gonna be the one for you to get your hands on. You've got your gold plated, rose gold plated and silver twisted clasps. Only launched last weekend, that's why I've not seen these before. Really, really new to us. You're getting 10 of each colourway. So I've got the gold one here. The detail on each is the same. I would describe it as, could you see the loop there? It's quite tricky to see, but there is on the T-bar that's mimicked in the circular loop, the lariat section, if you will. You've got the twisted bar that then has a rope detail overlay onto the top of it. It's a really beautiful, intricate design. You've also got your the ball ends at each of these as well. Then you've got your beautiful silver plated, very, very cooling and relaxing. If you have maybe some quite spicy coloured gemstones and you want to cool them down, silver often is a beautiful way of doing that. And we've also got the rose gold colour as well. If you're planning on getting those chains with me later on, we're doing you a stunning price on the brand new chains. This is going to be the colour match for you, because you'll be able to see the price is amazing, but the colour is a spot on match as well. Oh, that's a special little deal for you today, isn't it? Oh, it's Friday, £15 for 30. So how much is that working out per one then? Go on, Scott. See, I do sort of know, but it's not great to guess, is it? And I already got my fingers out for the 5 times table, so I think I've hit my peak now. 5p, 5 pence. 5 pence per toggle clasp. Well, that is ridiculous. I'm sure if you, like a lot of us, you'll go and do your price comparisons in other locations, won't you? When I go and buy my toggle clasps from another location, obviously before I worked here and realised the prices that you can buy them at, you're looking at packs of 3 for around £7. That means they're working out a couple of quid each. But today, you're getting them for 5 pence each. I've only got 50 left. Oh, well, that's a shame. 50 of these left. That means that you've got to be quick to get your hands on them today. 50 left. Once they're gone. Jill.
Silly. And they are beautiful.
Aren't they?
At that price, you just couldn't get them anywhere else, and they are truly stunning. They're completely different to the toggle clasps that you can pick up at your average bead shop.
Yeah.
And they are special, and they will make a huge difference when it comes to finishing off your pieces of jewellery, and are a good point for selling, because they are so unique compared to the findings that you find on an average piece of jewellery.
I agree with that completely. And the toggle clasp for me is probably one of the most versatile clasps as well. Of course, you can use it as a clasp within itself. You've also got the jump ring attaching these together, so you're going to be getting 30 jump rings on top of this. You can do your lariat style with the loop section. If you're not sure what I mean by the lariat style, essentially you can have the loop at the front of a necklace, and then it actually acts as your clasp by looping the rest of the chain or the waterfall detail through this. So you can have it as a front design piece. And then the T-bar, which I'm holding at the moment, all you have to do with that really is select a gemstone, pop on a little bit of chain or a jump ring, and you've got yourself a pair of cufflinks there, made within moments. It's a really very, very, very versatile clasp that we're working with today. And for 5p each, it would probably be rude not to, wouldn't it? EKAZ65, that's your code, last chance to purchase, only a few left. Once they're gone, they're gone. They're gone. I'm so excited to bring this to you. Oh, I've not seen this before, and I don't know why, because you know what I'm like with my opal. I sniff it out like a basset hound usually, but this one seemed to escape me. This is so beautiful. It's my favourite colour and my favourite gemstone in one. Purple opal. Totally natural. Are we going to do this now? Yes. Purple opal, absolutely natural. It's one of the rarest of tones of opal that we can get our hands on. It's such a rarity. I think it's safe to say this is the first one I've ever actually held. It's the first one I've actually been in the presence of on a strand before. It has got this most elegant and feminine touches of lavender and aubergine and plum just vibrating through each one of these pieces. It's got a gorgeous luster to it as well, which is just highlighted by these areas and these patches of that beautiful plum-like tone. It's oh so royal and regal, of course, with that coloration to it. I think something so unusual and so rare can sometimes, you know, it can throw us off a little bit sometimes. As soon as I saw this morning, I saw that we had it in our lineup, I instantly thought, oh, some dyed opal, okay, but it's not. It's absolutely natural. This is Mother Nature just working her wonders on such a genuinely stunning gemstone. I'm sure a lot of you know kind of the history when it comes to opal. It was seen as quite a bad luck charm back in the day, purely due to a book written by Sir Walter Scott. And it kind of really had a very detrimental effect in the 1800s on opal and how people, you know, viewed it. But now it's had a complete and absolute revamp. It's seen very much as a good luck charm now, and especially when you're getting them in these beautiful, really wearable and quite tranquil colours as well. You've got a mixture of two beautiful pieces here when it comes to the colour and it comes to the gemstone. Opal, I think it's safe to say, has always been quite renowned. It's something that's very much part of sort of society's mind in a way. It's a very well-known gemstone, and because you've got it in this most regal of purple tones as well, I think it's going to be wearable, usable, and the price I'm about to do, I think, is absolutely astonishing. It's one of the rarest colours. I personally have never been in the presence of it before. Absolutely natural. Your price, £29.95 is not your price. That's what it's been. That's what you've bought it at. That's what you've enjoyed it for in the past. We haven't seen it in a while though. £24.95 for you on this today. This is genuine opal, one of the rarest tones. It's got a luster unlike any other. You've got that kiss, that gentle, delicate, feminine touch of opal. And to be honest, sometimes opal, when we think of opal, you might be thinking of the, you know, kind of the stereotypical archetypal colours. So a lot of the time, naturally or mind when we think of opal might go to the fiery, zesty tones that you're used to seeing in the Mexican opal or perhaps in your Ethiopian opal. So it's wonderful to get something so unusual and so rare with this beautiful purple. The fact that it's natural just adds an extra element to it. The fact that even when I saw this, I instantly thought, oh, that must be dyed, and then I read more and it's not. That goes to show you the versatility of this gem, and it might be something that perhaps you're one of those people who've always loved opal, but perhaps the oranges that we see quite a lot of and the browns and the yellows, they're not quite your colour palette. You finally have got your chance to own that stunning opal with the beautiful, delicate, feminine touch of purple. 45 carats worth on these rondelles from 4x2 to 8x5. It's an 18cm strand of pure opal. What do you think of purple opal, Jill?
I've not seen any for real, but
no, me neither.
So I think those are beautiful. They're different. The purple colour just adds to the beauty of opal, which is a stunning stone in its own right, and the ability to have it in different colours now really means that you can suit everyone's colour palette without having to worry, and still not compromise on by not having what is a premium quality gemstone.
Absolutely true. Absolutely true. It's just astonishing. Well done, ladies so far who are getting your hands on this. Honestly, it is so exquisite. Have you seen purple opal? A lot of variety of it. This is back in stock. It was so popular last time. We've got the same strand in stock again. If you were lucky enough to own it the first time, now's your chance to own it again, but at a price of just £24.95. So you're looking at a £5 off this today, which is astonishing. You have got the graduation in the rondelles there, so perfect for things such as your drop earrings, perfect for cluster rings. You've got such a variety. Congratulations to everyone who is managing to get this today. You've got yourself a true heirloom. VMJN94, that's your code. It's £24.95. We're going to go to a very short break, and then I'm going to be back with Jill having a little look at her wirework and her beautiful Kumihimo. Stay exactly where you are.
Did you know you can purchase incredible jewellery featuring genuine gemstones on our sister channel Gems? Come along and see what treasures you can find.
If you miss a Jewellery Maker show, then simply go to our YouTube page where you'll be able to find hours of Jewellery Maker footage. Search by show, date or type. Alternatively, search by guest designer by using our playlist page. You can also find hours of tutorials with handy hints and tips to give you inspiration. Our YouTube page is updated on a daily basis, so you can access any show at any time. Stay in touch with Jewellery Maker.
Hello everyone, welcome back to Designer Inspiration. My name is Rebecca Redican, and today I am joined by the ever so elegant Jill. How are you, Jill?
I'm very well, thank you.
For those who have just tuned in, give us a little bit of a clue what to expect from your first design today.
We've got a mixed media piece with Kumihimo and wirework put together to make a floral statement necklace.
You are going to love it. I think it's safe to say. What a beautiful selection, isn't it? Really wearable as well. Now, Designer Inspiration, we give you the chance to own the kit that the lovely guest designers have, and today is no different. One of our newer findings packs. Don't forget, we have still got a couple of those findings pack deals left, have we? We've still got a couple of those left. Do give us a phone in and just try and get your hands on them now if you so wish. If you're watching at night, do the same just in case we've got a few left over. So this is one of our new findings packs with the really different moustache toggle clasps. They do though, don't they? Don't they? Look. Ooh, do, 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 do. They do, don't they? Isn't that uncanny? This is the findings pack you'll be getting. 115 pieces of these. You also get that wonderful chain in. You know, the large link chain that we showed you working with the other day, and we interweaved with it the suedette. Who was that with? Who was my guest designer? It was a lady. So it wasn't Mark, is what I'm trying to say. Oh, my memory. It's on Tuesday. Maggie, wonderful Maggie. She interwove this with that suedette, didn't she? And it gave a gorgeous little sparkle. It fits perfectly. It's got that new chain as well. So you've got a meter's worth of this, and it is in that beautiful golden colour. We've also, rose gold, we've also got some cord, and it is the satin cord with 2 wax cords. Now, how unusual to get a variety of your cords. How are these to work with together? Because obviously you've used the wax and the satin together.
They work really well together because you get the softness and the sheen from the silk cord, and it's a completely different texture from your wax cord, so they complement each other really well. So you might not think of putting different weights of threading materials together, but in fact you get a different texture by doing it, and it's well worth exploring the different mixes that you can come up with, because it really extends what you can do rather than thinking of things to use in isolation.
And they have got a different feel to them, haven't they?
They have, yeah.
And a different look as well.
Different feel, different look, and a different handle. So, but mixing them together has really worked and has given some beautiful, well, I think beautiful jewellery.
Absolutely agree with that. So you're going to be getting 2 of the dark blue wax cord, 10 metres worth, and you've also got 10 metres worth of the white satin cord. You've just got that extra sheen to it realistically. It's one of the main differences. Bit of a nautical kind of colourway this, isn't it?
Very nautical, blue and white, very summery, very nautical, always in fashion.
So true.
Works with a pair of jeans. Yeah, the part of every person's wardrobe, universal.
Matches what you're wearing today.
Does indeed.
Perfect. It also, you have in here your wire as well. So this is where the mixed media aspect really comes in. You have got your copper colours, and it's in the 0.4 and the 0.8. So these are very much 2 of our most popular of gauges. 10 metres on each reel, 0.8 and your 0.4 today. So structural, and also a bit of a weaving wire in there too. And lastly, but by zero means leastly, we have got such a special selection for you today. The last time I did a designer inspiration kit that had 2 strands of pearls in, we sold out within the first half hour of the demo. So it's imperative you get your hands on this quick, because again, I've got 2 strands of pearls coming up in here. Look at that sparkle. This is your beautiful blue metallic coloured pyrite. 60 carats worth, 39 centimetres worth on this strand as well. Very slight graduation by a mil from 2x2, ooh, like the arc, to 3x3. 60 carats worth of these in your rondelles. Really high shine, super sparkle, submetallic luster, unlike any other. It's like a paparazzi strand. It's beautiful. How are these to work with, Jo?
They're really easy to work with. They've got, given their size, they've got quite a nice drill hole, and they will take the 0.4 wire quite easily, and as well as the beading thread, and obviously the clear threads that come in the standard monofilaments that come in the standard beading pack. So worked really well, and they're just beautiful. I'm not normally drawn to tiny stones, but they give such an impact with just using a small number of them, that they are beautiful. And actually, having worked with them, I would buy this kit for these alone, because they are just a joy to work with, and they add something that's just very different to the kit.
It's nice that it's offering you something you wouldn't necessarily go for, but actually it's changed your mind.
Yes.
So perhaps if you're the same and you don't generally go for this type of gemstone, then give it a go, because you've got plenty in here, but you've also got these little beauties. Sticking with the colour palette, your beautiful deep blue pearls. These are your potato pearls, 8 by 7 mil. That blue is rich, isn't it? The pearlescence you're getting from this, you've got yellows, you've got greens, hints of teal running through this, even some aquamarine colours as well in here. Absolutely scrumptious selection on this. Now we all know about pearls and the price of pearls, and we also know that that's increasing dramatically. Also the coloured pearls are just becoming more and more popular. We've seen people on the catwalks in the last month or so covered in bright, beautiful coloured pearls. It's kind of a bit of a twist really on kind of the classic timeless Angels Wise pearls we might be used to seeing. Angelina Jolie was photographed in coloured pearls recently. Michelle Obama was photographed in coloured pearls as well. Helen Mirren has been photographed very recently, I think it was the weekend I saw actually, in coloured pearls too. So it's just a beautiful bit of a twist now on the modern day, and you've got your chance to do this as well, but you also have a chance to keep it very traditional with your white pearls as well in this kit today. These are your Baroque style pearls. The pearlescence, can you see? Pinks, yellows, greens, blues. Almost imagine a peacock's tail. You've got all of those colours within the pearlescence here. How exquisitely do they work together? This kit has been thought out so seriously. It truly, truly has. Pearls are cracking size on that white strand in particular. 9 by 8 on these ones. So you've got your pearls in the whites, beautiful, ageless, timeless, ridiculous quality. You can see that purely, you know, with that pearlescence just spanning across the entire neck of each and every one of these. You've got that beautiful modern twist with the blue, and you've got that high shine sparkle of the pyrite too. Your findings pack, the complementary copper wire in the 0.4 and the 0.8, and then also the colour complementary cords. 20 meters of your dark navy blue in the wax cord and 10 meters of the satin in white. That's what you're all looking at on the website right now. That's what you should be paying. I've already had 5 people purchase it at that price. Do not worry, you 5 people, because you will be paying the same as everyone else. Do you know what, guys? Well done for getting in quick, because that means you're going to miss the massive queue that you're about to see. It's not £44.55. It's not. It's £24.95 for you today. That is astonishing. You're getting 2 strands of genuine pearls, which we all know are going up and up in price. You've got beautiful pyrite, which is just one of the largest strands we've seen in a long, long time. It really is. Almost 40 centimetres worth of genuine gemstones there. And because they're so shiny, because they're so impactful, because of that submetallic luster, you're only going to need 3, 4, maybe 5 on a design to really make your pieces pop. I've only got 88 of these available right now though, so you've got to be quick on this. You know, normally that on Designer Inspiration will be starting off with a heck of a lot more than that. I've got 88 of these available at this moment in time. You've got one of your newest findings packs as well, always an essential. 20 meters worth of your wire, and you've also got the cord in there. Now some of you might be looking at home and thinking, well, you know, I'm a wire worker, but I don't do Kumihimo, so I'm not really sure if I'm going to need the cords. Do not worry. It's gonna be a step-by-step tuition. I've got your Kumihimo discs and boards coming up for you really shortly as well, at a stunning little deal, a stunning little price. And also Kumihimo, when it comes to jewellery making, it's one of the lowest cost mediums to get yourself into, especially when I'm doing it at this price today. How much are these working out per component, realistically? If we're thinking 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 pieces I've got in here. Scott? Hello. So, right, you tuned out. Good. What is £24.95 divided by 9? Yeah. Because I just want to get an idea, a gauge of kind of how much. Is that it? So that means you're getting a strand of pearls for £2.77. That's astonishing, isn't it? What do you think of that price?
I think it's amazing, but if you think of it, if you just not want the wire and the pearls, and think of it almost as if the cords have been put in for free, use the kit for the cords and the wire that you normally do, and teach your children or your grandchildren how to macrame with the cords, because they handle really easily, and the wax cord in particular doesn't slip. So children, you know, I've taught my 6-year-old to macrame using the wax cord, and it's quick, it's easy. So if you're getting it in effect for free, it doesn't matter if they have a try, and you know, it's just amazing value.
It is stunning value, and it's just such a beautiful range and variety as well. I've got 80 of these available right now, but there are people on the phone trying to get in. I will say, please make sure you're checking out your baskets for me today. Really busy morning, and it's set to continue. The numbers on your screen are trying to catch up at the moment. I've got loads of people on the phones, so please stay where you are for summer sophistication. To be honest, anywhere else, for 2 strands of genuine pearls, you would be looking at paying way more than £24.95 just for the pearls. The fact of the matter is, included in that, you're getting 10 metres of 0.8 wire, you're getting 10 metres of 0.4 wire, you're getting 60 carats worth of your pyrite, you're also getting a findings pack and 30 metres worth of threading materials for nothing, essentially. £24.95 just for those 2 strands of pearls would be exceptional. Today we're making it unmissable though. All of these goodies, just a tiny £24.95. What's your usual designer inspiration saving? Usually we're looking around the £12 mark, sometimes a £13 mark if you're lucky. Today, with this kit, £19.15 saving. That's your saving on this today. It's an absolute exceptional saving. It truly, truly is. Normally, you're chuffed with £12 off. Normally, you're chuffed with £13 off. Of course, it's £13 or £14 in your pocket. But today, you're getting almost £20 off this. £19.60 for you off today. It's all yours for just £24.95. Jill, can I ask you something? Bearing that price in mind, how much would we be looking at selling, you know, these pieces for? I know it's always a tricky question, but say with this necklace, for example.
Well, if you're looking at the cost price of that for what we've got, it's about £3.50, which is silly.
Wow.
If I was looking to sell it, it takes quite a lot of time, and you really must include your time in the cost when pricing jewellery. So I would say you're looking at probably £30. I mean, I don't very often sell my pieces. I make more for pleasure and for gifts, so it is really difficult for me to put a price on it. But I would have thought £30 is very reasonable for what is a really statement piece of jewellery.
Rates, to be honest. I really, really would. I think that would be exceptional. So realistically, you could make this one piece, get your money back and more on the kit, and then you had loads left. You've created, excluding this one, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of the pieces that would be pure profit.
Yes.
That's
and easily created those pieces as well.
That's wonderful. Get yourself in on this like everybody else is. Lovely ladies and gents, check out your baskets for me as well. Where are we going to start here?
Right, we're going to start with making the central Kumihimo piece, which I've used in a very different way. I've not used the Kumihimo as a neck fastling here. I've used it as part of the construction of the statement piece at the front. And for those of you that haven't Kumihimo before, then it's a really easy Japanese braiding technique to learn. Again, one you can teach your children to do, as Sarah Alvin's often said. So I took one pack of my 10 metres of wax cord and divided it evenly into 8 pieces.
Okay.
I then put a knot in the end of it, and if you want to, that you can attach a weight, and although you can buy specific weights for Kumihimo, I think the easiest thing is to raid your stash of bead oddments, put them in one of our organza bags and hang them off the bottom, and that seems to work pretty well for me.
Definitely.
So this is the Jewellery Maker Kumihimo plate that's coming on later on, and essentially they all look exactly the same. So a disc with slots in it, and you place your knot in the middle. And this is a straightforward 8-strand weave,
Okay.
the simplest weave you can do. If you look on the net, you'll find loads of other variations to mix. So you can make spirals, you can make reverse spirals, you can make chevrons, hearts, and all sorts of things into your braid, and all you do is slot your pieces in as you go,
Okay.
two opposite each other. So I have one here that I have set up already.
Okay.
And I've got mine, because I've stopped, I've got 3 cords at the bottom, so I'm just going to take that back to a starting position, which is like this.
So this is how you'll start it off.
Yeah, and then it's really is a question of just lifting and moving, nothing more difficult. And to make life easy for myself, I've wrapped my cords around the Kumihimo holders that come in the starter kit. And if you've got spares on the website, I'd suggest that you get them, because they are invaluable. It means you don't end up with a knotted mess to contend with. And so for the weave, I'm going to turn it round to you, so it's top to bottom on the same side, bottom to top on the same side, and then turn it round, and then it's the same, top to bottom.
It's all right, you stay there. I'm going to just shimmy. Look at that, cash. Can't even tell.
Bottom to top and turn. Does that make sense? So and then it's just a question of repeating it. Top to bottom, bottom to top,
bottom to top,
and turn, a quarter turn.
I see.
So, and then it's just a question of repeating, and it's well worth giving it a little pull to maintain the tension on the cord.
I see.
To make life really easy for using it.
Fab.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then I Kumihimo'd the entire length, but that's not really going to make great television viewing, I think, for me to sit there and do it. And it's something that you can quite happily do on the train, as I did the other day, and you might attract quite a lot of attention, but that's often
often a benefit.
It's often a benefit, and it certainly passes a 2-hour trip to London or more in a fairly pleasant way. So I'm just going to get rid of these.
Just need to let you know that 75 of these I have got left, but there are people with it in their baskets. Once they check out, that will be dramatically less than that. Your saving today is so eye-catching. It really, really is. When you're saving almost as much as you're spending, it's too phenomenal to miss out on. £19.60 you're saving today. That's a dramatic saving. You're looking at around a 40% off on this kit today. We are seeing less and less and less of pearls. You may well know that Hannah and Paula came back from Hong Kong last week, and they have been out sourcing for the Christmas period. They've been able to get a lot of shell pearl in beautiful variety of colours, but not so many of the real deal pearls. You've got your chance to get 2 in this kit today. £24.95.
So then we need to make the flower. And I've just taken mine off my disc and I've knotted the end because I haven't finished the opposite ends of the flower in a conventional way, and I've wanted the lengths of cord to add another texture to the design.
Brilliant.
So to complete a Kumihimo cord, so it doesn't unravel, it's good to sew in the ends. So I've taken a piece of monofilament because I didn't want to really be able to see my sewn in ends as part of it, and literally all I'm doing is popping it through and knotting it round a number of times until I've got my braid secure. Nothing more complicated than that, and I apologise because I realise that monofilament's not going to be the easiest thing to see, but that's literally how you finish the braid off and wrap it round before taking a pair of scissors to it.
You don't have to be great at sewing for this.
You really don't. It's, you know, and most of this is going to be hidden, so you really don't. But you do need to have. If you just cut the braid, you will find it happily unravels on you. And if that's what look you want, having spent an hour doing it, then that's fine. But it's fairly frustrating. So I need just to do that. And then I used what was left of my cord actually to make my flower, monofilament to make my flower, because I hate threading needles with a passion. So having secured it, probably a bit better than I've just done in reality, you can chop off the end and be reasonably secure.
So you just snip that knot off and it still holds in its shape.
Yes. Okay. And then all I've done is make a little loop that's going to take ultimately my pearl in the middle. So that's all I've done. So making it the size of my pearl. Sorry, my fingers are in the way.
No, it's all right. We get the idea.
And then you loop it round. So pop it through both. Tie it together using your monofilament, and then you need to make the next part, which is to make a second loop up, pop it through and anchor it. So if I do this to me, and then I'll turn it round so you can see what I've done. Otherwise I'm going to end up with a needle in my eye or in my fingers or Becky's eyes, and I don't know that either of those is a good option really.
That's very thoughtful of you. Love it. Whilst you're sewing that to yourself, I'm going to give people the opportunity, because we've had a few messages in about this. Let's get this in now, shall we? It's your Kumihimo plates or discs that we've got for you. So you've got the mini disc, which is the one we've just seen Jill working with the bobbins. This is your round circular disc, and this is going to give you the look that Jill's creating right now. So, you know, a tube-like, as it were, braid. You've also got the square disc. Now with this one you can create flatter shape, square shape, oblong, rectangular shape braids. Sometimes you know, I'm sure you'll have seen it around in a lot of the high street stalls, a lot of the male stalls at the moment, a lot of Kumihimo leather with the flat braids. This is how you can create those looks that are oh so popular. And you're also going to need the wax cord as well, aren't you? And this is how to get yourself started. A real beautiful vibrant coral colour of red here, beautiful zesty orange, and also you've got your stainless steel grey here as well. You're going to be able to create a lot of different looks here. This is your starter kit. This is your starter price. Your price today should be £11.65. This is going to start you off at a tiny price. A brand new skill, a brand new hobby, a brand new love that you can make and sell for just £6.95 today. I told you it is one of the easiest to start off with techniques in jewellery making. It's also one of the lowest cost to get yourself started. If you're thinking of a hobby, if you're thinking of starting something new, even, you know, any other hobby that you can think of, a lot of the time your outlay price is going to be a high price. Even for running, you know, you have to buy the snazzy trainers, don't you, which can be £60, £70. music lessons and instruments, high price. With this, you're starting a brand new skill, a brand new hobby, or perhaps even passing on your hobby to someone else that you care about and love for just £6.95. And with this as well, you could actually do it together, couldn't you? Because you've got one disc each. £6.95, VYGC14. It's an absolutely loopy price. It's something that kids enjoy, kids of all ages, I think it's safe to say. It's really easy to get yourself involved with. Even if you have dexterity problems, you can still enjoy these. If you're going on holiday anytime soon, you can even take this on the plane with you. You don't need any extra tools to start yourself off. At £6.95, what do you think of that deal?
I think it's amazing. You'd pay that easily for the cord on its own, and the little Kumihimo desk is brilliant for travel because it's so neat and tidy. Let's say that's what I used the other day on the train, and it's easy to hold. I've got quite small hands and I find the big one quite difficult sometimes, whereas the little one works perfectly for me, and I think for little hands as well with their learning.
It's amazing, isn't it?
Incredible.
It's fab.
And that orange and the steel grey are just lovely together. It's a very in-set of colours, isn't it?
It really is.
Yeah.
It really is. You've almost got sort of a sunset kind of tone with the reds as well, haven't you? It's a beautiful variety at an absolutely jaw-dropping price, and boy oh boy do you triple buyers know it. Hello everyone, getting your hands on 3, 2 and 1 today. Do check out your baskets, everybody. Last chance to purchase. It's £6.95.
So you carry on linking until you've actually got 5 of your loops.
Okay.
And then I've added a pearl to my monofilament. I've pushed my needle through my braid. So there we are. And pulled it out. And the only really fiddle-bee bit about this is that the needle doesn't go through the pearls or the pyrite, so you end up unstringing and stringing, which is why I've prepared a piece, because I thought my eyesight and stringing, again, not very good viewing. So I would at least try and short-circuit some of the pain of watching someone thread a needle that they can barely see the hole on. So having taken it through like this, I've then taken my needle back through, brought it back out, unthreaded it deliberately, taken my tail end and put it back through the pearl. So the pearls easily take 2 threads of the monofilament.
That's fab.
Yeah.
That's really good.
And then I carried on doing the same all the way around.
Okay.
And then sewed my loops together, so I had, instead of the 3 that I would have here, although that's quite pretty in its own right,
Yeah,
I had a row of 5 and
Wonderful.
a long tail.
Fab.
So,
And again, you're down to be great at sewing. I had to sew up my sofa yesterday.
oh dear, that's going above and beyond, Becky.
I know.
Not to be recommended.
No, it wasn't. It was really annoying, and I couldn't find the right colour thread. It was a nightmare. But it doesn't matter with this. You don't have to be good at it at all, and it's all hidden inside.
And the monofilament really doesn't show very much amongst everything else. So,
Brilliant.
having sewn it into a flower, I then added a row of the blue beads.
How gorgeous
blue
is
pearls
that?
as well.
I love it.
Okay, and the central piece is nothing more complicated than taking a length of your 1mm copper.
That's the 0.8, is it?
It is, yeah. And I worked out approximately how much I wanted for my central spiral, which is maybe 4 or 5 centimetres, 4 to 5 inches maybe, somewhere around there. And I made a loop, and the reason for the loop will become clear. And I deliberately made it at the bottom because I wanted quite a big loop, and twisted it.
Okey pokes.
Okay. And then all I did was make myself a coil. So I popped my wire into my round nose pliers, coiled it around, and then made an open loop using my fingers. This wire is so malleable that it's really easy to make a coil in a straightforward way.
Okay.
And then I popped my long tail through the hole in the centre of my flowers, and then wrapped it round the tail.
Okay, so you use
So
the
we've got
whole
the-
tail just wrapping around. Not so long ago, I paid £7.99 for just a small disc in a local shop, says Emma. Emma. Should have waited, shouldn't you? Well, are you getting yourself another one, Emma? It just goes to show, doesn't it? Just for one disc, £7.99. And actually, £7.99 for a disc, I thought you probably thought you were getting a bit of a bargain, didn't you? Because £7.99, you'd think to start again, you'd start a new skill. Oh, good price. Fact of the matter is, you're getting 2 discs and 30 metres of cord today. Emma, have you got yourself one? Have you? I hope so. I hope you have.
And at the end of that, I was then left with my Kumihimo braid with its unfinished ends and a length of wire. So I pushed my wire through my braid. It will go, you will go, there we are. So whilst at the other end I'd wrapped with monofilament, at this end I used my wire to wrap and finish and tighten all my threads together, just literally wrapping around. I did mine a bit more neatly in real life, but hey ho. Brought my piece up to the back, and I needed a loop for attaching to, and made a round loop.
Okay.
So bend at 90 degrees, turned my pliers, brought it round, and literally made a wrapped loop. And then brought it back down, brought the excess wire back down, and stabilised it back onto my braid like that.
Okay.
And then made a wrapped loop or spiral to finish that off. So at the end of that, you have a piece that looks like that, with some dangly ends. I knotted these to stop them going everywhere. So let me unknot these now.
So you're untying these ones?
Yeah, so I've got some looser ends. And if you look at the detail on the main piece, I've then taken these. I've used Natalia's glue.
I love that glue.
It's just fantastic.
No.
It seems I haven't found anything yet that it won't stick, I have to say.
I thought about using some on my sofa the other day, actually.
I think you'd have probably got away with it
I
because
think
it's
I could
permanent
have.
and it
Yeah.
seems to work on fabric pretty well. So I don't think there would be a big issue with doing that.
I will when my sewing comes undone, which it obviously will.
Finish the ends of your sewing with some of the glue. It
It
might stop it
probably-
over.
Very clever.
And then I had these ends, and I didn't want just to chop them off. It seemed such a waste, and I wanted to add a change of texture. So literally all I did was paint both sides of my loop, my Kumihimo round, with some of Natalia's glue. It dries completely clear,
Yeah.
and it's flexible, and it doesn't seem to fall apart in the rain, which is always an advantage, and it's just lovely. And then all I did was take my ends and wrap them round, following the coils of my wire that I'd put on before, so I left them peeking through, so, literally. And then all you need to do is squash and wait for it to dry, which doesn't actually take very long.
I love how it gives it a totally different texture. And it's not over the top obvious, but when you look closely you can see, oh, I see,
Yeah.
there's a little bit of something extra there.
Yes.
It gives it another depth, doesn't it?
It does. So you've got a piece like that, and you just need to leave it to set aside to dry, and then you can trim the other ends off that you don't want. Okay, so I'm going to pop that over there, let it dry. So that's the first part of the components made.
Okay.
And then you can embellish it as you want. I had beautiful copper coloured wire in the kit, so I thought I would make a wired component to hold it together and add maybe the effect of a leaf to the flower. I've cut short lengths, but because it's easier to demonstrate with them, but in reality I had lengths that were about 35 inch, 18, yeah, about 30 inches long.
30 inches?
30 inches, because I've wrapped them and wriggled them, and I hate to run out. I'd rather cut off at the end than run out part way through.
Okie pokes. So, so 30 inches, what is that about for the metric? So,
Well, 18 inches is 45 centimetres.
45 centimetres. So double that ish.
Somewhere around there.
Okay, brilliant.
You can always cut off, you can't add to wire, so
Absolutely.
it's really worth going. And the wire from JM is just such good value, it just isn't an issue. And offcuts can be used for all sorts of things, so put them in a box, keep them safe to the side. It's copper at the end of the day, it has a bright value,
Definitely.
and it's never wasted.
No, we keep. Brilliant.
And I slightly offset these so because I didn't want all the ends at the same place, and then took my 0.4 wire, which I've left on my reel because I'm used to wiring, although wire work for doing this with, and it's less wasteful. And literally all I did was wrap the whole lot together about 3 times, and then I did an over and under weave, so, or a extended figure of 8 because of the central wire. So over, under, and pulled it in together and carried on doing that. So it's a simple weave to do.
Now, does it matter if those base wires start to pull together, or do you want them to kind of keep?
I've got mine fairly well fixed in my fingers to try and stop that happening.
Okay.
It doesn't matter, it's just that it doesn't look as neat, and it tends to give the edge make the edge look a bit more frilly than it might otherwise do. It's quite an attractive look, but it's maybe not as elegant as say Sammy or Michelle's beautiful wrapping if you do that. And then I carried on until I'd got to sort of where I felt I would want a spiral.
Okay.
So if I carry on doing all of that, we'll be here forever in a month of Sundays. So at this point, I'm going to make my spiral. So I've put my wire into the end of my flat round nose pliers, so it's not poking out at the end.
Good.
I've curled it round on itself, and then just made myself a spiral.
Yeah.
Around. And at this point, you will have to take your wire off your spool, because I want to add some of my beautiful pyrite in to add some detail to this. So I decided I would just do some simple round and round loops to look like a gizmo for a while on my wire, and then started to thread on one by one my beads. And I find it easier to do that like this than to put them all on and then have them bobbing around when I'm wiring. So then a bead on and a couple, 2 or 3 wraps. Just make sure you're consistent. If you want to put 2 on, that's fine. But if you've chosen to use 2, put 2 between each of them rather than change them around, and then carried on.
And that just gives it a bit of a professional and detailed finish, doesn't it?
It does, and it looks as if you've taken some care over the piece that you've made rather than just throwing it together.
Yeah.
This is a time-consuming piece. I'm not going to say that you're going to sit down necessarily and do it in the evening. I sat on the floor and made it over the space of maybe 4 or 5 hours in between the ironing and sorting out food for the kids. And so it's a piece that you can pick up and put down and carry on with. And I added 5 of my pyrite before finishing, rejoined and made some more weaves and did the same for the other pieces.
Okay, brilliant.
Okay. The only difference, and then changed the angle of where I wanted them. So the last piece I've hooked round to form a leaf, and that's also part of my connector on my final piece.
Wonderful.
Okay.
Now, with that one, you haven't counted, have you?
For this one,
Say at the sides.
No, I wanted it to be in deliberately have it. So in between each group, individual group, I have
It's the same.
counted, and then I've done a run where I haven't put beads, and then I've gone back to my consistent loops and then done another run.
Yeah.
Because again, it adds a different texture and a different look.
It does draw your eye. It's beautiful.
Yeah, you could just as easily have gone all the way around if that's that's what you want to do. That's the beauty of jewellery designing and jewellery making. You make it to your style, and you use other people's ideas to bounce your own. And just because I've made it like this doesn't mean that anyone else has to. They can change
it if you wanted
and vary
to.
it.
I love the technique that you've done with that, because it's like little dewdrops, and that's just how they've landed. I think it's really pretty.
It's lovely. Now, I made, as a loop when I put my coil in my flower.
Yes,
yeah?
I remember you doing that.
Okay.
It's the one you said you were going to leave there and you'd see why later.
Yes. So I'm now going to take all 3 of my wire pieces.
And that's that you've left over.
Wiggle them through. Yeah. I want all 3 to go through, so I think I might have managed to get those through without poking anyone's eyes out. And then I've held it in place. So I've now positioned it where I want it in place here. And it's a bit wobbly, so all I've done then is take my ends, my long ends, excuse me Becky, and flick them round a couple of times to hold them in place on the back. And you can spend your time and make them as even, but that will help keep your connector piece in place. Yeah. So that's not going to wobble about anywhere near as much as it was.
Fab.
Okay. So I'm going to. My glue is dry.
Perfect. That's
So-
dried solid, but it's perfectly clear. You can't
No.
see any of that.
And I'm just going to trim those ragged ends at the moment. And you can always add a bit more glue to finish things off and just fold those tight cut edges in at the end if you want to. All right. And then on my piece I have taken, I've got my wires knotted together, so I'm just going to unknot them. There we are. One piece that's come down, which is this piece here, and the others who I've taken and just wrapped around at random, adding a pattern that I felt was nice to approximately halfway down my piece of Kumihimo. So wrap it until you've got a pattern that you are happy with.
So it's a nice free form
Yeah.
flow.
Yeah. And that's left me with this piece, and I thought, well, I've got all of this beautiful white silk cord in my pattern, so I'm going to add that in now. So I will take that's what I've done with my white cord, and I've added this in using a lark's head knot rather than one of the other knots, but most jewellery makers I think probably know what that is. And I've just taken a long length to add in to the piece.
So probably about 45 centimetres.
Yeah, you just need to have a piece that will come from underneath your flower to the central point,
Okay.
with a little bit more for going around the stones that we've put in.
I see.
And all I'm going to do is knot this on the back. So again, this is taking the pieces that you don't want to see to the back, out of the way neatly. And if you don't like the looks of the piece, all the additional pieces, you could always use some of the ultra suede that's on the website to add in to neaten the back and maybe stop any of the ends that are there catching on anything.
Okay.
So I'm going to make sure that this is in view. So all I've done is taken my thread over my wire underneath and pulled it in, and then repeated that.
So underneath and pull that in again.
So really simple. I've deliberately left it baggy because I want to add in my stones, and this will slide on the wire really easily.
Brilliant.
So you carry on literally just doing that.
Just loop
And
it
I
under.
added maybe 5 or 6 of the beautiful, beautiful blue pearls in. So I knew I needed to have 6 baggy loops, for the want of a better way of describing them.
And I presume you can do this technique with any type of cords.
Oh yeah.
What about with suedette?
There's no reason why you couldn't do any of this with suedette. You can Kumihimo with it, so you can use it for the lark's head. Yeah, it would work really well. And the metallic ones are lovely.
They're
They
funky,
really
aren't they? I
Yeah.
adore them. I have got a massive saving on this. I mean, huge. Scott's called it super thread, like Super Ted, he says. I used to have Super Ted vitamin C tablets. Oh, did you? Oh my gosh, we've got so much in common. I have got a huge cording pack for you now at a massive discount. I gave you a little clue as to what my discount might be earlier on. It is a whopper. Let's really quickly span through these so we can get back to Jill. You have got in here your threading materials that are as follows. You've got your wet look leatherettes in the silver, the gold and the red sprinkle. So the red sprinkle, you'll be able to see you've got that glitter detail on two sides, and then with the wet look it is as it says, wet look, and then on one side it is the organic. Next to that you have got your neutrals pack with the antiques bronze sparkle at the bottom, the beige in the middle of the wax cord, and then that beautiful chocolatey brown of the wax cord next to it. Moving over one again, you've got more of the wet look in that beautiful rich gold. You've got the sprinkle in silver this time, and then you've got that cappuccino tone wax cord. You're coming onto the spicy tones now, and these ones here, they are all satin cord in the orange, the burgundy and that peach tone. More satin next to it with that really delicate cream, your hot pink, and then the sparkle suedette in the pink this time. You've got your sparkle in the blue as well, which I think works perfectly with that pink, and then you've got the wax cord in that royal blue and the aqua blue. You're going to be getting 18 spools in total. When it comes to the satin and the wax cord, you're getting 10 meters on each. When it comes to the suedette, you're going to be getting 5 meters on each. You've got a huge amount in here. Your should be price is £31.70, which is a bargain and a half, isn't it? Especially when you've got suedette in here as well, and that beautiful leather look as well. £31.70 is your should be deal. Today though, we're going to be taking it superbly low. It's yours today for just £16.95. How many meters worth have I got here? I have got meters and meters and meters on this. £16.95 is the price on this today. That's a £14.75 saving. That means you're almost saving as much as you're spending. This is almost 50% off today, realistically, isn't it? Over £14 saving on this for you. You have got a massive selection in here. You've got a huge amount. With the satin cord, you've got 10 meters. With your suedette cord, you've got the 5 meter reels. So in the blush mix pack, you've got 25. In the Mardi Gras suedette, you've got 15. In the metallic suedette, you've got 15 meters. In peacock, you've got 25 meters. In the safari cord, wax cord pack, you've got 30 meters. And in the tropics, you've got 30 meters as well. So that means, all in all, you've got how much, Scott? 150 meters? Is that right? Hang on, Scott's not sure. You've got 30, 60, plus 25, plus 15, plus 15, plus 25.
A lot. A lot.
You're right, Maggie. A lot. That is how much you're getting. Thank you. £16.95. What do you think of that price?
Well, it's under £1 a spool. That's just crazy, and it's beautiful and it's versatile, and yeah, if I was at home, I'm really jealous of you lot for being able to buy it. Because it's just, they're just gorgeous colours. They are trans-seasonal. You can use the blingy ones at Christmas if you want to. You've got autumn colours, you've got summer colours, you've got fun colours. That's just silly at £1 a spool. But it's just crazy.
Less than £1 a spool, isn't it?
Yeah.
Absolutely stunning. It really, really is. Super thread, 18 spools for a tiny £16.95, working out less than £1 a spool for suedette. That's amazing. 98 pence per spool. It's stunning. Last chance to get it though. Loads of you are coming in for this. It's a bargain. If you're starting with your Kumihimo, if you're starting with macrame or knotting techniques, then this is going to be the deal for you. Lovely.
Right. So I've finished off adding my satin cord knots, and I've got an end that I want to deal with before I attack someone. So pop this into here.
So that's just going wherever you want.
It is. It's a free-form piece, so it's how it's going to suit and fit for you, rather than work for anyone else. It's you that's going to be wearing it, not someone else. So I think it really has got to be how you want it to be, rather than how anyone else wants it to be. And I've just taken this, and yeah, I think typical of most wire workers, leave all the ends on and spiral them at the ends, or tuck them in when you want to. And then I felt that this wire was a little bit bare, so that's where we've got to. And you'll understand why I've left these big loops in a minute. So I've then taken my 0.4 wire and cut a length.
Okay.
It doesn't really matter how long, because you can add in, so I'm going to cut a workable length so I don't paddle anyone's eyes or anything else here in the studio. And then I've just literally used it to wrap my pieces together.
Okay.
Where I've got them to hold it. So, and the wire is really malleable, so it's easy to work with, and it's easier with wire to work with big loops. Don't try and work right up to the piece with a tiny piece of wire, because it'll kink and it'll catch, and then you won't be able to thread your stones on, and you'll get cross with it. So big wide loops means that it flows and it works easily, and the wire is malleable and supple, and this will follow where you want it to do. And then I've then taken this piece, my end of my satin cord, and knotted it off around here to fix it in place. And
So just a normal simple knot on that?
normal simple knot, and I added a bit of glue to hold it long term, but I won't add that now because I'll have glue on everything else. And I went back to my beautiful little pyrite and literally have placed them in between where I wanted to be. So I need that to go up through there so that my pyrite's on the top. So for you it looks like it's on the bottom, but for me it's on the top of the wire.
Yeah.
And then I've taken my wire, poked it through the hole, like where the loop was. Put the stone into place, brought the wire back out through the next loop in my satin cord.
Back through to the loop.
Yeah. See what I mean by you end up with a nice cat's cradle of wire ends.
I used to love doing the cat's cradle.
Yeah, it's a good way of entertaining children, isn't it?
Absolutely is. You're right.
And carried on wrapping these in, so I caught them in between each of my satin loops that were on. And I did 5, because I tend to like working at odd numbers, of just the pyrite, then added one of the bigger loops, the blue pearls, and then wrapped it at the end to finish it in. So that brings us to the top of here, and it's just the same techniques repeated, so they're really not difficult. It's just how you put them together gives you the different appearances.
I see. Wonderful.
And I've wrapped another pearl in that central loop.
And that central one there as well,
Yeah.
yeah.
So
Nice
that
little detail.
It is. So I'm just going to chop some of these ends off.
Okay.
For everyone's safety as much as anything else. In real life I would curl these in and tuck them in so that they were out of the way.
Okay.
And then in the findings kit we have that beautiful chain. And I wasn't at home, so I didn't watch Maggie, and actually prepared my pieces last weekend. So, but Maggie and I must have been on the same planet. because I've woven the
Satin cord.
the satin cord.
But it is a totally different look. She used the suedette, so it's nice to see it actually with a different thread running through it. It's beautiful.
So I knew I wanted to attach my chain with a jump ring to some of that wire here,
Okay.
and I wanted it to hang and come up to the loop I'd made on the Kumihimo base. Okay, so that's where I cut it, and I've got into the habit with this chain of cutting it at the side rather than on the narrow loops,
Okay.
because that way I can open them as you would a jump ring, and I can close them, so I don't have to waste any of my pieces of my chain at all.
Clever.
So there we are. I'll put that. And then literally I took another length of my satin cord.
I just want to let you know that this kit is still at the bottom of your screen. You've got to be quick though, because you know what it's like. As soon as you say you've got almost £20 off a kit, it's something that's been ever so popular with those 2-strand of pearls as well. PNGC63, that's the code. It's only £24.95 today, a saving of over £19 off this. Last chance to purchase it, that's at the bottom of your screen. And my super threads, less than £1 a spool, is at the side of your screen right now. £16.95 for 18 spools.
And then like Maggie, I just went in and out, so making sure I was going through the link that was facing in the same direction.
So every other
Other, yes. If you look at it, the way the chain sits, you have some links going up and some links that are lying flat.
Yeah.
So whichever one you picked for the first one, stick to that.
Okay.
Okay, so
So you're just holding it slightly taut between your fingers.
and literally just ran it through the whole length of the piece that I wanted. So that's, again, not a difficult technique.
Gives it a lovely effect though, doesn't it?
Yeah, I wanted to mirror, although the design is asymmetric and it's intentionally asymmetric, it still has to be balanced. And so I wanted to continue the white from one side through to the other, but I wanted it to sit with a different texture compared to the wrapped wire thread. And then I attached that with a jump ring to here and up to the top.
So you just attached it where it was meeting
Yeah.
with the end of that lark's head
Yeah.
technique you did earlier.
Yes.
Fab.
And then I sat there looking at it and thought it still doesn't look balanced, and so went back to my needle and thread and sewed on the tiny pyrites in an arc that I liked. There's one
Oh, I
left
can
in there.
see.
So that they then loop around and add in to finish the piece and go up.
Yes, I see.
Okay, how are we doing for time?
You've got a good 4 minutes.
Right, okay, so I'm not going to do that because that will take a little while, but literally it is just taking the pyrite, feeding them onto the monofilament and looping them around. And I followed the line of my wrapped wire all the way through, linking it in and brought it up to the top. And I've then added a tassel from the kit and one of the clasps as a dangle.
Oh yeah, you
Yeah.
can see that just here.
Because they're beautiful and they need to be showcased. And then I needed a piece to finish it, to attach it round. And I went back to my chain and my findings kit. And in the findings kit, we have our cord ends. And
yeah, the S-shape extender cord
Yeah.
ends.
And all I wanted was my S-shape end and a length of the chain to go around the back. So I took a jump ring, opened it like you would a stable door rather than pulling it open so they stayed in shape, popped it through and attached it to one end like that.
So that's the loop you left
That's
earlier
the
on.
loop left over. Okay. And then I've done, I won't use all of that block because it'll be wasteful. And at the other end, I've added another jump ring, and then used my S shape to close it round on the leaf shape at the other end. So that, yeah.
It's nice. I always like actually having a clasp at the front because it makes less fiddly, doesn't it?
Well, if you've got dexterity issues and you can't physically manage to get your hands round the back of your neck, which sometimes as you get older becomes more and more of an issue, then it means that you can still wear a piece of jewellery. And this clasp in particular means that you haven't got any fiddly bolt rings to deal with, because it literally just loops through
and hooks
like that and hooks on, so it hangs, and then you just shape it to the shape that you want. So there we are.
A beautiful piece of mixed media. Thank you so much for showing us that, Jill. If you have absolutely adored this, now's your chance to get your hands on the last couple of the kit at £24.95. Don't forget, make a note of today's date. You can watch us back on YouTube. I'm going to be back with the lovely Jill in mere moments, approximately 30 minutes or so. Give us a little bit of a clue what to expect from your second designer inspiration.
Well, there was a beautiful pink or rose, I'm assuming rose quartz cabochon, which I looked at and thought, that'll be interesting. And I've wire worked it, having watched enough of the JM shows, having done a wire work class with Laura in the past. I thought, well, if it's now or never to tackle this one.
And it's officially now.
Yes, so we have a wire wrapped cabochon. I hope it's inspired by Laura binding, but my own take on it using the kit I was given.
Love it. It's beautiful, and it's a designer inspiration for you all, because it's going to be under £25 chain and more after the break.
Get involved with Jewellery Maker by sending the studio a message during our live hours. You can send a text to 60777 and start your message with JM Studio, or alternatively, go to our website and click on Watch the Live Show, simply type your message into the box and press send. Make sure you stay tuned in case your message is read out. Get interactive with Jewellery Maker.
Join jewellery maker and guest designer Mark Smith for our long-awaited macrame workshop. Get to know the essential techniques and knotting formations to create these vastly popular designs. Learn square stitch, twist stitch, slip knot and much more. The full course includes a range of different threading materials, a selection of gemstones, use of all relevant tools, a buffet-style lunch and refreshments, a tour of the studios, a chance to meet the presenters and a visit to our Gemstone Museum. All of this for just $79.95. For more information, contact our call centre on 0800 644 655. Jewellery Maker, bringing out the designer in you.
The fastest way to shop with Jewellery Maker is by going to our website. Just click on the Sign Up button. Once you've filled in the required details, you can start shopping. You can watch the show by clicking the Watch Live button on the front page. You can also use our Refine tool and narrow down your search. Once you've found an item that you like, just simply click on the Buy Now button and the item will be added to your basket. Don't forget you can add as many items to your basket per day and still only pay 1 P&P. Enjoy shopping with Jewellery Maker.
Welcome to Designer Inspiration. My name is Rebecca Redican, and this is your chance to own something brand spanking new. This is going to be at an introductory price. This is going to be, get it now, at the lowest price you will ever see on this collection. It's called our Premier Price Point. We do it now and again. It's a little bit of a treat, and this is your opportunity to get it today. That means that the price you're about to see on this is not going to be the price you'll see it for in the future. It will be going back up in price after 9 o'clock. I've already got people on the phone purchasing this. You're gonna have to be quick. It's probably gonna be a sellout today. It is 5 brand new rose gold fancy chains. Each one of these is totally different in appearance. Each one is 40 centimeters long. You've got different shapes here, as you can see. So you've got your pear-shaped drops with the twist at the end. These ones are 9mm loops, and you can see that the jump ring holding these intact is a high shine polish perfect round. So you can see that they are the pear drop shapes. Next to that, you've got your 4-prong, almost flower-like, really, isn't it? With the flattened edges. So you can see it's not perfectly round. It is flattened off at the side, giving you a really kind of funky modern look. And these are held together by your oval jump rings. Next to it as well, you have got the twist detail oval. Now this one goes beautifully with the pear. The main difference, however, is the shape, of course, and also you've got the detailed twist on the jump rings interspersed. Next to that, you have got your flower detail as well. Now on this strand, you've got flattened at the edge. I need to let you know I've already got quite a few of these gone. Got 27 gone already. You need to get yourself on the phone if you want this, ladies and gents. These loops, the links in the chains here are 11 by 8mm on this. I love that just as a ring, to be honest. And then finally, you have got that really wonderful star-like shape. The difference between this shape and the one that I showed you secondly on this is mainly the jump rings in the center. You'll see that every other jump ring on here is a texture. So you've got your high shine, and then you've got your twist, your high shine, and then your twist. Every other has a different look. So you can work that to, you know, the best of its ability, or you can of course separate these. I've already got a fair few of these going. I've got double buyers on this already. Introductory price today for all 5. That's the price you're going to be seeing when you next see these on screen. That's the price you will be paying after 9 o'clock. This is your premier price point, lowest point to buy right now, £27.95. You need to be adding £2 onto that in your mind if you're watching this at any other time than 9 on today's date, because it's going to be £29.95. That's the price this is going to be. The reason we do premier prices sometimes is because we want to give you the opportunity to own something you love and adore. We know this chunky chain is massive at the moment. We also know that at £27.95 it will not stick around for long. I've not got many of these left anymore. 98 at the moment, going down very quickly though. Massive amount of people on the phone line for you today. £27.95, that's it. SLAZ 97, that is your code on this, and it is that rose gold. It's one of the most popular colours that we have. In fact, rose gold, Mark always says, and Sammy says, it's their #1 seller if they have the opportunity to buy pieces in gold, silver or rose gold. A lot of the time they will sell out of the rose gold first. It's the most popular, possibly because it's a nice way in between the two. Some people love gold, some people might love silver. Rose gold, it's got a beautiful mix of both. It's got a huge market out there. 63 I've got left now. There is a slight queue on the phones, but we will be with you. Thank you very much for checking out, everyone. £27.95. We had the alternate colourway the other day for you, and that was in the silver. This is your rose gold, so of course we're looking at a much higher price point. In fact, rose gold has gone up in price last week. Of course, we very much like to keep our eye on the market when it comes to your precious metals. Rose gold went up in price last week to the highest price it's been seen since around the end of February. So you're managing to get yourself one of the most popular at a really, really low price point that you might not be seeing in a few months' time. When we're buying at this moment in time, we're finding it hard to find the prices we found earlier on in the year when we got this, and we've reached a new high now when it comes to this precious metal. Get it at a low price, but I've already got only 61 left, pretty much half my stock gone on this right now. SLAZ 97. Don't just think of it as chain. Don't just think of it as chain. Think of it as cufflinks. Think of it as a frame for inlaying your polymer or your photographs within there. Think about, say that to me again. Jill, how do you feel about it?
I think that Gemma Crow used it I think it was Gemma at the weekend, and she'd used it to give the appearance almost of prong setting, but without having to need the wire, and it looked absolutely fabulous. I think you know, such a different way of setting a stone, and I'm desperate to try it out as a technique because it just looks stunning when she finished doing it.
Yeah, it was beautiful. It was in the gold colourway. If you didn't see it, it's, I think, have we got the examples? Oh, brilliant. We'll show you them in a moment. What were you going to say then, Jill?
Well, you know, and it sold out really, really quickly. You know, I think almost even before the price had even gone on screen, it had disappeared. It was, you know, everyone was so inspired by what had been produced. So I would suggest that people look on YouTube and try and sort of put Gemma Crow into the search engine and find her piece, because it was truly, truly inspirational.
When we did the gold, actually, because it was the first of the 3 colourways we did, I did the silver for you the other day, I've got the rose gold for you now. When we had Gemma Crow and we did the gold, we actually didn't do an introductory price on the gold. We did it for $29.95 and it sold out in moments. It's just the matter of the fact that we had a fair few more of this colourway that we're able to do an introductory price. Saying that though, 54 I've got left now. £27.95 is what you're paying for these, and I've got examples here of what the lovely Gemma Crow did. In fact, Gemma Crow's got her workshop on today. Have you seen her? She's having a whale of a time today. There she is. Look at her. Oh, look at her. Are you loving her trousers, Ryan? I know they're funky, aren't they? They're like Aztec-y, really, really bright. In fact, I've just been to show her, she's in the magazine today. I'll show you in a bit. These are her designs that she created using this chain. Of course, it's in a different colourway, but can you see what we mean here? She's actually she's taken off the individual links, worked them together and bent them around to create a really beautiful cab style effect. We've done the same as well to create these really funky link chains. So she's taken the 4 kind of flower detailed or 4-leaf clover effect, taken off some of the oval links and folded those in half to give a totally different, really dramatic and funky effect. And then again, she's sort of dropped gemstones into these as well to give you a real different feel. She did have a large beautiful cab as well, which she sort of enveloped essentially with these. It's an introductory price today, £27.95. I've only got 52 left. We're coming to you on the phone as quickly as we possibly can. In the rose gold colour, it's one of the most popular colours and it's yours at a very popular £27.95. Rings, cufflinks, earrings, cab wraps, headpieces. Really, you know, your inspiration is going to be going wild with these. Make sure you're checking out your baskets for me, ladies and gentlemen. I've got so few left and people on the phone. I'm going to move on. 52 of them left for you. I'm going to give you another popular little one now. Always a popular choice, especially when we've got it in some of the newer colourways. If you're into memory wire or if you're just starting out in jewellery, then this is going to be something that you are going to love. Take a little look. You've got your wires in the memory wire in the rose gold. You've got your ring memory wire, 14 coils. You've got your bracelet memory wire, 14 coils. And you've got your necklace, 10 coils on those. The same amount in each colourway, in your gold, which is another one of our newest colours, and in the ever so popular silver. Now, if you're not totally sure what memory wire is, it does what it says on the tin, realistically. It holds its shape. You can thread onto this and do some really funky loop style necklaces. Now, when I'm telling you the coils on this, that essentially means the amount of pieces you could create from it. So for example, with the rings, if you wanted to just do singular wrapped rings, you could create up to 14 of them because you've got 14 of the individual loops. So these will hold their shape. You can thread onto this a mixture of different gemstones. Mark Smith uses memory wire very, very often. It's one of his biggest sellers on his stall, he always says, because you just thread on a few chips and nuggets, you can create a really standout design. It's wearable for everyone, it fits all, it's something a little bit different. Now, what I will note is with the ring sizes, of course, the coils are all the same size, and this fits me absolutely fine. Once you've got your gemstones on here, it will stretch, so this again will fit a multitude of ring sizes, and these are the 14 loops that we're talking about. If you are brand new to jewelry making, this is a way that a lot of people start their journey because it is instant gratification, it is easy peasy. You're getting the 3 colorways. Your price for these today is just £6.95 for you. What do you think of that, Jill?
I think it's amazing. You can use memory wire for so much. It's not just a threading piece. You can use it for structure. You don't have to use a complete ring of anything. You can take it and form it so that you've got graduated loops. I love working with memory wire. It just adds another structure to your pieces, and it's really robust once it's made. So it's a good starter threading material really, and my children love working with it. If I do make the loop at one end, they'll sit and string beads for ages. So even from maybe 4 or 5, they're happy to use that. Yeah, adult supervision is required for the non-turned end, but it's a good tool for them, and they're so pleased once they've made something.
Yeah, definitely, and it's nice to let your own imagination go wild. It's great with memory wire because you can start off jewelry making and create something relatively simple but beautiful and elegant, but then as you develop and as you learn more, you can do a lot with this. You truly can. You can create really ornate, almost ethereal designs with this. There is loads of you in for this. Hello everyone. Loads of multi-buyers. Hello Kay in Glamorgan, getting your hands on a couple. Maureen, hope you're having a lovely day. These are back in stock for us. They flew out and they're flying out again. They're back in stock for the first time in a long time. You've got your silver, your gold and your rose gold. Gold and the rose gold being the newest to us. Very, very popular as well. £6.95. Get yourself started. If you're brand new to us today, don't forget that if this is the first thing you're going to be ordering, the first thing you're going to be getting, all you really need on top of this is a toolkit and some gemstones, and you can start yourself off. If it is your first day shopping with us as well today, then you absolutely get yourself a free DVD and a free help booklet as well. Just give the call centre a call, they'll sort you out with everything you need. 0800 644 655. I've got loads of you getting your hands on this today. About half of my stock is gone on this, so please be very, very quick. Get yourself very quickly on the phone lines for this. Now, I've got a new tool that I haven't seen yet coming up with you, but I did manage to have a little look at it in the brand new, the newest of our make and sell jewellery. So in here, this is what I'm talking about. You've got the opportunity to own this brand new tool with us today. The Whammer Hammer. Now it says in here, this compact size tool means it's easy to stow away and carry around. It was specially designed to provide more accuracy when striking, as you have more control on each direct blow. The head is also weighted so that you don't have to strike the wire with as much force, instead just using a stroking motion rather than bashing it. Slightly convexed for doming on the face, especially designed to spread and flatten wire without marking it. And as we know, if you are into working with your structural wire, we all know that's what you're looking for, isn't it? The last thing you want to do when you're working with really bulky structural pieces is to hit your wire and that gorgeous colour coating comes off. With this tool that I'm about to give you the opportunity to own, that is not going to happen because you've got the nylon head on there. Take a look at this. It's interchangeable, it's workable, it's going to be yours for a cracking price today. Gorgeous Gemma Crow. I was having a chat to her before about this. She absolutely loves it. She said that it's one of the best tools she's seen recently out there on the market. She adores it. She has got on tomorrow her structural wire workshop, actually. I think it's a third or fourth time of doing it. And she says she needs to get her hands on loads of these because people are just going to fall head over heels. So what have we got here? Well, you can see you've got the interchangeable heads which you can move around. So that means you can strengthen. You can also shape and texture with your ball head design here. You've got the flattened edge as well, which is ever so slightly domed, but it has got quite flat side to it. Perfect for changing the internal construction of your wire. So you're going to be able to work hard on it with this. You've then got the nylon side here, which means that as you are work hardening your wire, as you're giving it strength, you're giving it more structure, you're almost holding it in place, there's no chance of that beautiful colour coming off your wire, which can realistically ruin pieces if you just catch it ever so slightly wrong. That's not a problem with this at all. Now, it's a brand new tool with us. We've had it on air a couple of times before. I've never brought it to you. It's the third time on air. Your price today for the Whammer, just £18.95 for you today. As you can imagine though, we have had it on a couple of times before. We've not got that many of this left. We've only got 100 of these left, which might sound like quite a lot, but it's really, really not. £18.95 for you today. I've already got these flying out of the door. It has been in this month's Make and Sell Jewellery magazine as well. So you know what happens when people get their eyes on this sort of thing and they see these types of goodies and they see it in publications such as this, it becomes more and more popular, doesn't it? So get it whilst you can. Get it before everyone else. XPBD51. Have you had to go with this, lovely Jill?
I haven't, but mine's on order, so hopefully it'll arrive next week for me to have a play with. But it looks like a really good idea. I'm very heavy-handed when I've got a hammer in my hands, and the idea of having something that's going to minimise the damage I cause or stop it completely to the coated surfaces is fantastic. I've always missed the wire whacker, which is so to get this was a real bonus, and I think will add a lot to your jewellery tool making kit.
That's wonderful, isn't it? Wire whacker's coming up this weekend, actually.
Is it indeed?
Yeah, it is indeed.
Right.
£18.95. Loads of you are getting your hands on this. Genuinely, when someone like Gemma Crow says to you it's one of the best tools that she has owned in a long time, you know you're onto a bit of a winner, don't you, realistically? XPDB51, that's your code. With this, you've got a 3-in-1 tool. It's perfect for your jewellery making. It's interchangeable. It's got your nylon edge. It's got your dappings edge as well. Was specially created to use with wire, also with silversmiths who kind of love compact and multifunctional goodies. Everything you can possibly want to get your hands on today, this is your opportunity to do so. £18.95 today. Got another little essential tool for you right here, right now as well. This is a tool that has been absolutely absolutely adored. It is your wax Y cone. Take a little look at this. If you haven't seen it before, it's so simple to use. It truly, truly is. It's a tool that creates beautiful loops, beautiful effects. This is your original wax Y comb that we have here. Now, if you haven't seen this in use before, it's very, very easy to use. Simply, you've got the hole in the end, which is where you'll place your wire through. And then as you twist it down, you're able to do this really gradual gradient of a comb. Am I right in thinking that you've actually used this on back of one of the designs I can see?
I have indeed.
Aha, you have indeed. Let me grab that over. So talk to us about why you use this to end off your Kumihimo, Jill.
Well, Kumihimo cord is quite thick and you need something to cover the cut ends as a way of attaching it. So you can buy specialist Kumihimo ends, and JM stock beautiful ends in various sizes. But sometimes sort of we have to work with the kits that we've got, and the Y-cone allows you to make a customised cap that will cover the ends and give you a professional finish without having to buy a specialist finding that you may only use once in a while, and it's just they always look great. I love mine. I have to say I've got them in all 3 sizes. So if you've not, if you've only got this one, I would recommend you hunt the website and go buy the mini and the maxi, because they are invaluable for your jewellery making, giving it really nice finish. And you don't have to use them just as to cap an end. You can use them for earring findings, to make you can stack them one on top of each other to make a chain with them.
I love that idea.
You can actually put a piece of wire through the coil and then tie it back up on itself, so it gives you almost like an ammonite feel to it.
Gorgeous.
So there's huge things, and then you can put multiple together to give the spiky look that's quite in fashion, and to make spiky flowers if you want to. So hugely versatile.
A really versatile tool at a cracking price, just £7.95 for you today. QBWG27. You can use it to give a professional finish to your pieces. You can use it to give symmetry to your pieces, which, let's face it, can sometimes be a thing that we try and achieve through different methods that don't always work. With this, it's going to work every time for just £7.95 today. And we have got the mini tool as well, the mini wax Y comb. I think that's coming up for you later on. QBWG27 is your code today. Now, I've got lovely Jill with me today, as we know, and we're moving on to the kit now, which I'm really excited about seeing, because not only are the designs and the pieces really ever so elegant, but also it's the first time Jill has ever wire wrapped a cab. How are you feeling, Jill?
A little anxious about it, because, as I say, I've never wired, but until I did this piece I hadn't wire wrapped a cab at all.
No.
And to go from that to demoing it on air, it's slightly daunting, I have to say, but it should work out, because the techniques again come back to the basics, and it's about adding things and putting them together. So yeah, let's go for it and see.
Let's go for it indeed. No backing out now, Jill, I'm afraid. It's a bit late.
No.
I have got 3 stunning strands in here for you and 2 opportunities to own cabs. This is a strand of ever so beautiful amethyst drops. These have got a real richness to them, haven't they, Jill?
They're lovely. I mean, amethyst is, I think, a universal stone. I've never met someone who doesn't like it. Purple works with everything, doesn't it, as a stone and as a colour. It's February's birthstone, so for many people it has a very special place in their hearts. And the drops are different, aren't they? I know that round beads are a go-to, particularly for beginners, but the subtlety and the small shapes really allow you to embellish things in a way that the bigger rounds don't.
Absolutely. And you've got the 70 carats worth here, but you have also got some rounds in this kit, but these are quite a workable size. It's your beautiful, really, really deep rose quartz, 60 carats worth on these strands. Is that right? No, it's not. You've got 82 carats worth on this strand, 6 mil on these. Now, you've worked with these in quite a varied way throughout your pieces, which makes me suggest that perhaps they were quite easy to work with.
I think rounds they're really easy to work with. They're a fantastic starter stone, but you can do so many different weaves with them, patterns with them, you can embellish with them. Those are a size that you can use them as a spacer bead if you wanted to. No, they're really easy to work with.
You've also got, just sticking on that delicate pink feel, this pink quartzite in 190 carats worth of your 5-petaled flowers. They are 15 by 5 mil. The flowers are some of the most popular shapes that we work with, and I adored that you very much almost based your pieces quite around this gemstone strand, it would seem. You've very much stuck with some of the floral designs running through your pieces. Was that an inspiration with this?
It was. I love flowers. They cheer you up. They're a gift that you receive for special occasions. They're summer. They're just an easy motif that almost everyone enjoys looking at and working with. So to have the cut stones is a luxury, really, and they add another dimension to your pieces. You can wire work them, you can add them, just simply bead them if you want to, but they're special, and I love the motif of the flower. I just think I think it's probably my most used motif when it comes to making jewellery.
Love it.
I think so.
Yeah.
I love it. It's feminine, it's pretty. You can make them small or big, you can bling them up. Yeah, I think it's a really easy motif to work with, and
it's recognisable as well, isn't it? Even if you go slightly off gist, I think a lot of the time your eye can be drawn into it. 60 carats worth you have of this oval as well. It's 30 by 40 mil, this cab that I'm showing to you now. Wonderful size, and you've used this in very much a focal pendant, haven't you?
I have, yes.
It's beautiful. You've also got this green adventurine, which is 15 carats worth of your oval, 25 by 18 mil. This colour palette is working together exquisitely, isn't it? You've got those really feminine, those really fresh, those really floral tones running through with the rose quartz, with the purples, and then of course with, you know, the greens of the stem coming from the aventurine. The fact that we've even got aventurine in here in a cab today is really special, because I can't think of the last time I've brought this to you in a strand. So it's exquisite that you've got so much here, around 15 carats worth. I have got some other goodies for you, but I'm going to get your pricing because you're going to be astonished. Should be £32.60. If you were to buy it all separately, that's what you'd pay. Not today though. Discount code ARGC20. Designer inspiration, a price point for all. Today, £17.95. Even if I only gave this to you, even if for that price you only got these 5 things that I'm showing you now, that would be astonishing, wouldn't it? To get 2 cabs even for that price is mind-blowing. I've purchased in the past, well, I didn't purchase them actually, but I've seen in the past an agate cab around the same size as this quartz for that same price that you're seeing on screen now, for just 1 of them. That is astonishing just for what I'm showing you. £17.95 for all of this. The fact of the matter is you're also getting 10 metres of 0.4, one of the most popular gauges that we do. You're also getting 10 metres of the 1 mil in chartreuse, And you're getting our essential threading pack, monofilament, elastic, and your beading thread as well. That is a stunner of a deal. It truly, truly is. Almost £15 off today. At under £20, you're lucky to be getting yourself, oh Jill, your face, love. You're absolutely shocked at that price, aren't you?
I am really, really shocked at that price because the rose quartz cabochon alone is stunning. And if you look in the shops where you to buy an average cabochon, you'd pay probably half the price of that kit just for the rose quartz cabochon on its own, let alone anything else. So yeah, I'm really surprised at the price of that.
It's very rare that we will do a designer inspiration kit for under £20. Very, very, very rare. You've got it today with a massive variety. And what I would say is particularly nice about this today is the fact that Jill has said, you know, she's not wrapped a cab before. It's going to be her first time of, you know, giving it a go with this kit. So this goes to show that not only is it affordable for a lot of people at a tiny, tiny £17.95, but it's also something that you don't need to be afraid of. If Jill's giving it a go for one of the first times she's done it today, then your opportunity to do so too. All your threading pack, 10 metres of your 1 mil, 10 metres of your 0.4, 2 cabs, including that aventurine, and 3 strands of genuine gemstones. Another thing I want to point out about this as well, which you might be absolutely shocked at, all natural. All natural. The amethyst, the rose quartz, the pink quartzite, and the cabs, both totally natural. No treatment on any of them. It's amazing, isn't it?
It is amazing because lots of gemstones are treated, aren't they?
Yeah.
It's just that JM's meticulously honest in how it sells its products. So, yeah, I think if you went into an average jeweller's, they wouldn't know whether it was a natural stone or a treated stone.
And they don't have to tell you either. They don't legally have to. We tell you we're transparent, and I tell you what, to get your hands on all of that totally natural, genuine gemstones at that price point. Don't forget, when we say natural, we normally mean price hike massively, dramatically. Not today though, $17.95. It's a stunning price for a stunning collection.
Thank you.
It's beautiful. Obviously, I'm in love with the ring. What a beautiful variety you have here. You really have. It's lovely to see wire and beading thread together as well.
It's an unusual combination, I have to say. It's not, you wouldn't normally expect to find a beading thread pack in an essential wire working kit. But I love beading thread, and it allows you to do things that, because of its rigidity but subtlety, that wire doesn't allow you to do, hence the flowers that are totally made out of beading thread.
It's wonderful, isn't it? I absolutely adore them. I love your little ringlets as well of the beading thread. It's fab. You've got a beautiful selection here. Now, I know, again, you're going to hate me. Price point. What are we going to be looking at for, say, your cab?
£25, possibly?
Definitely. Definitely. So again, one piece, you've got your money back and more, and you, I can imagine, had a fair bit left over, you know, after just this one piece. Yeah. You've done absolutely loads with this. I love the variety as well.
Thank you.
Was it good to work with?
It was.
First time cabbing?
It was a real challenge. I got the kit a week ago, so it wasn't much time to have a go and practice and get something that I felt looked reasonable and professional. So if I can do it with having just watched on the shows, and if you're really scared of wire, come and do one of the jewellery maker classes, because the tutors are fantastic and patient, and they'll take you through, and they're really good value as well, and a great day out. So don't be afraid, buy the kit and come and get Laura to show you how to do it.
Come and get involved, absolutely. Yeah. Oh, blimey, I've just noticed I've only got 51 of these left. Do check out your baskets at that price, it's stunning. So where are we going to be starting with this today, Jill?
Right, we're going to start with the cab, and the rose quartz cab and making it into a statement pendant. I felt it was too big to use as a ring base, although I managed to use that for the aventurine. And initially I felt I was going to use it landscape rather than portrait, and then changed my mind. So hence the way I'm going to set up to make it, which might not be quite as intuitive, but that's because I thought I was going to use it in the opposite direction.
I see.
So I've put my cab down on my mat, and I've cut myself a length of the chartreuse wire, which is a beautiful contrast to the stone, and I've literally just worked it round the stone to fit. Literally just taken the ends, and I've given myself a lever to work with. I'm not working right up on the stone, I'm using the ends of the wire as a lever until I've got a shape that resembles the cab. And then I've just taken a piece of scrap wire to hold it together and wrapped it together to hold those sort of approximately in place. And the advantage of not securing them completely is it allows a bit more movement and allows you to tighten it in at the end.
Linda's message. Jill, just beautiful. You go, girl.
Thank you.
Said, maybe with a click. That's what I think. Thank you very much, Linda, for that.
So, having wrapped it, it's just a bit wide, but you can pull the wires because they're not solidly fixed, and then you can adjust as you go.
Okay.
And you need then to have something that's going to stop the piece falling out of the back, and something else that's going to stop it falling out of the front. It's obvious if you think about it and break it down that way, but sometimes you need it spelling out to you, and I occasionally can do that. So I've sort of worked out that if you take the length of the cab and double it, and then add some bits at the end for the size of the coils you want to make.
Okay.
If we look on the back of this piece, you can see that the back is coiled in to provide us with the stability that it requires.
I see.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, for that, but rather than cutting a long length, I sort of worked out that length plus length again plus approximately 5 centimetres for each curl gave me
Brilliant.
enough to work with.
Fab.
Okay, and then it's back to the standard wire working technique, and this is a technique that's worth practicing on any of these scrap bits of wire if you're not used to doing it. And you just take your wire, pop it into your round nose pliers, making sure it's not poking out of the top, and just curl your wrist round. When your wrist won't go any further, take it out and re-angle it, and then swap to some coated pliers to protect the surface of it, and just pull it round. And I'm using my wire to pull round because again that minimises the damage to the coating.
Yeah.
And you want to get to approximately halfway down your length of wire, and these will open up and close down as you want, and after a while you'll find that you can actually just curl it with your fingers. And then you want a piece that's going to come across, it's going to sit on the back of the stone.
Okay.
I'll move that out of the way. So that's going to be a bit tight. And then come across diagonally before curling back up on itself. So I'm using my thumb and the warmth of my thumb just to curl my wire in until I've got a nice smooth arc.
Okay.
And then I've gone back to making myself a spiral. And these can be adjusted, which is why I went with a spiral rather than anything more complicated.
Okay.
You could net with wire if you wanted to
Nice idea.
make it a back, but I wanted something that was relatively easy to do using everyday techniques, so that if those of you have been put off by watching Michelle and Sammy and Laura with their really, really beautiful green with envy eyes pieces, and just felt that they were out of your league of being able to do that, hopefully I'd be able to inspire that group of people to have you know, take up the challenge and have a go at doing it.
Okay, good.
So I now have a spiral each end, and you just need to then to adjust it so it fits across the back of your cab.
I see, yeah, so it's nice and in there.
All right, and then I'm going to go back to my frame and attach it in. And you can say the advantage of the spirals is you can fiddle with them and adjust the size
If you need to.
If you need to.
Brilliant.
Okay. So all I'm going to do now is take a length of my thinner gauged wire and attach my spiral each end. And I'm going to leave myself tails for wrapping the other pieces in as I go.
Okay. Long ones or just little?
Reasonably long, usable pieces. I am going to use these. I'm not going to be chopping these off and sort of pressing them in.
Okay.
I'm going to want to use them because I think it's easier not to have to add in lots and lots of tiny pieces of wire as you go. Yeah.
Absolutely, yeah.
It improves the integrity of the piece and reduces the numbers of ends that you have to control and try and tuck in neatly. Yeah, that wire's going to be in my way, so I'm just going to flick it out of the way.
Okay.
So I've got my spiral where I want it, and then all I'm going to do is wire it in the same way that we've seen Alison Tarry do with all of her beautiful spiraled pieces that she makes. So literally. So
Got
two or
Alison
three.
on tomorrow with
Have
some
you?
dogs.
I'm not a dog fan, but I imagine that whatever she does will be truly amazing.
It's going to be a ridiculously fun show tomorrow.
Well, I've done her wirework dragon class, and
Yeah, how was it?
she's an amazing teacher. She is so patient, and you know, if you start out not thinking you'll ever be able to achieve it, you will, because she is just so good at teaching. And yeah, it's stunning.
Yeah, you can.
Yeah.
It's amazing, it is. And people always leave going, oh, we've got to finish this off later on. Because you leave with a buzz, don't you?
You do. So there. So all I've done is that, and then I'm going to repeat it at the other end. But again, I'm leaving all of these ends. So yeah, bit of a spider's web. Yeah, but they'll all come in neatly at the ends. So don't get rid of them. You'll only regret doing that.
Whilst you're spiralling on, Scott's just brought me some goodies. Which one of these do you want doing, Scotty Bellotti Bean? Wirework tools, don't mind if I do. Wow, this is going to be a starter kit, or wow, this is going to be for someone who's maybe had a bit of a go at wire before and now you really want to get into it. This is tools galore. Let's go. Helping hands, sometimes known as handy Andy. Brilliant for wire work, but also great for just general beading. You get the bulldog clips, you get your what's it called? What's that called?
Mirror?
No.
Magnifying
glass. I was like, my microscope. It's not a microscope, that would be crazy. Magnifying glass, here he is. Come here, Andy. Thank you, Kaz. You get your heavy weighted base as well. Great for setting up if you just, you know, perhaps you've been making something and you need to go and do something, you can just clip it, the goodies into place. If you've not got great eyesight, you can use your magnifying glass to get right in there. We showed you a technique the other day where you have to have this to get involved. There's loads of different goodies. You've also got your steel block with your hammer as well. Perfect for texturing your wire against, perfect for changing the internal composition of your wire, wonderful for adding that vintage feel. It is a steel block, and boy oh boy, this is heavy. £6.50 this if you want to post it yourself. I don't think you should. Gemma Crow tried to do it. £6.50, only £2.95 till midnight tonight. You get your hammer as well, which you're going to need, aren't you, really, if you're going to be changing the texture of your wire. You've also got in here your coiling gizmo. So this is to do that gizmo effect. Loads of different tools you can create, loads of different shapes, you can create with this. You've got, that's the mandrels with the two mandrels. Wire wrapping jig you've got as well, which you can create your own links, your own chain. your own logos even. Lettering you can do with this as well. Everything that you can see there on screen you're getting. And then lastly, but by no means leastly, you are going to be getting your hands, I can't hold it all, on this mandrel as well. If that is not a beautiful display, I do not know what is. Look at everything you've got here. It's a crazy amount. Should be $33.70 for all of that. Today though, it's tiny amount, not $33.70. It's really low. Not nearly £34.
Go for it, because that's just ridiculous. If you went to your average DIY store, and I'm not recommending you do because their hammers are not great, the weight of them's not great for jewellery making, you'd pay that for a hammer, let alone for the rest of it. That's silly. It really is incredible. If you're teaching classes, think you might be teaching classes, they're going to go into a school maybe and teach children the joys of jewellery making, going to help at a community club or try and raise money for charity, buy lots of them, because that's, I think, it's probably a pretty unbeatable offer.
It truly, truly is. GUGC 41 is the code. GUGC 41. Wireworks Stasher. You've got your helping hands handy Andy, your steel block, your chase hammer, your jig, your gizmo, and you've also got the mandrel as well. Everything in here to get yourself started, to get yourself on your way, to keep yourself entertained. £14.95. It's a ridiculous price slash. Price slash of what exactly, Scotty Ballart? He's working it out, hang on. Massive amount, huge amount.
It's a lot.
You're right, Maggie, in there again, a lot. A lot. How much? £18.75 off. That means you're saving more than you're spending. Isn't that about 70% off then? That's an amazing price discount. £14.95. Absolutely love that. Isn't that amazing?
So now I have my back piece wired in.
Yes.
And relatively stable, and I've made sure that my stone fits neatly on the top of it.
Okay.
Okay.
Got you.
So that's the back piece, so it's not going to fall out of the back. We then need to think about how we're going to fix it onto the front. And I've made myself some spirals that I've then basically made to shape to fit over the ends of my stone, so that they go over on that side and on the other side. Okay?
Yes.
So we're going to attach these in exactly the same way as we attach the others, surprisingly. That's just by wrapping them in.
And is that using your tails?
It is using my tails, yeah, which is why I didn't want to cut them off. And things.
It's just giving it a lot more strength, isn't it? Because you've not added on.
It is, and it just means that you've got a piece that's neat and tidy and functionally works together. And as I say, you've not got so many bits then to try and have to cover up and stop spiking into you, which is so important when you're working with wire, is that you do make sure that your ends are all neatly tucked in and out of the way.
You don't want to spike anything, or put, especially if you're giving it as a gift or you're selling your pieces.
That's correct, yeah. So carry on with that until you get to that piece completely in, and then I've taken off my scrap wire which was holding those pieces in. I shall be normally unwind it, but we'll not bother, we'll chop it instead.
Okay.
And hope that I don't chop the supporting wires in the process. There we are.
There we go.
And then all I've done is wrap these around themselves so they're tight and formed a loop. So that's one end round, and the other I've taken back the other way.
I see,
If I
so in
slot
opposite directions.
the cabochon in, you can see
the
now
direction,
where it's holding.
Got you.
And all I've done with my ends is add a little bit of an interest with an over and over weave wherever the ends were, linking them onto my spirals. And we've still got a space at this end that we need to deal with, so I've made another spiral to fill in that gap so that it's held in place. So I only had the cab that I've made and one more, so I haven't been able to prep from here on out. So we'll have
that's
to.
all right. No,
So from here
step
on out, it'll be much. We'll be taking it right the way through.
Fab.
Is that all right? So,
Yeah, absolutely.
So I've used my cabochon, and I've worked out I've got a space over here that needs fixing.
Yes.
Yeah. And it needs to come to over here to fix it. So that's where I'm going to call in, and I know from experience that that's just way too much of a tail end
for your coil.
For my coil, and my standard measure for coil is about 4 centimetres.
Okay.
So that's my thumb length is 2.5. So between those 2 points, so I'd essentially double that to add to it. And then I don't
That's
have
how you know you've been wire working for a while. I love that. I adore that. Measurements.
I wire wrap for structural pieces. I'm very much a mixed media person, and so wire to me is an integral part of forming a shape and then using other things with it. And I'm sort of lazy. I can never find a ruler at home. No, and so actually having some standard measurements is important, and even here I've managed to overcut that, so I'm just going to chop a piece out and I'll re-spiral it in the ends. So don't worry.
It's another great thing with this wire as well, especially this size, you know, it can take a bit of adjustment, and once you have it in place you can always re-ravel, can't you?
You can indeed, and you know, wires from a lot of places are actually that much more brittle. They don't allow you that flexibility to turn things in, and it really is at this point worth spending a little bit of time just to get the shapes that you want, and making sure that it's going to sit comfortably over the cabochon, so that you've got, you know, you want to have a piece that you're proud to wear.
Definitely.
Rather than not proud to wear. So that piece is going to sit comfortably over there.
I can
with
see,
my fingers
so
in
where the
place.
spaces
and
are.
I can make this one here smaller if I want to give it a little bit more room, just by flicking the cab out and then turning that in a little bit more.
Which is another great reason for the spiral, isn't it? Lots of adjustments as and when you need them.
Yes, that's correct. So I've now got my final spiral made.
Yes.
And I've got a tatty end there that's about as much use as a chocolate fireguard, if we're honest about it. But I've got a usable end at the other end, so I'm going to start there and I'll add in a piece, so I'll show you how to add in at that point. And a lot of the places where I've added in, I've ultimately covered with the beautiful amethyst. Just to the flower, I sort of thought about adding a layer of flowers over the top, and each amethyst is meant to represent maybe a little flower bud.
That's beautiful. You can definitely see that.
So which is where I was working with in terms of idea of where I was going, but the quartzite, which is they are quartzite, aren't they?
The flowers?
Yeah.
Yes, they
are beautiful, but they're just too big to use as an accent on top of the cab. You just lose too much of the cabochon by doing that. So from here, so I'm wiring in my spiral until I get to the space where there's a gap. So there's a gap here in the space, and at that point I will swap to a weave, which is a simple over and round, to add some detail into it. And I'm going to clearly run out of wire at this point, so that's fine.
That's all right.
I'm going to pop that down through the back, tuck it under, and I've got a space so I can tuck it underneath and make sure it's not going to poke anyone. Just cut that down. Okay.
Yeah.
Before I wrap that, I've clearly got an end here that's not doing very much.
Yeah.
And I'm going to add in at this point some of my amethyst.
Great. So that's another one of those tails that you've had since pretty much near the beginning.
It is.
And now you've used it to hold the pieces together, but also to add on those beautiful natural amethyst as well.
Yeah, I'm going to use these all to catch in and bit by bit anchor everything into place. So all I've done is drop my quartz on, my amethyst on to my beading wire and popped it through and added it in. Wrap around once and twice, and then I'm going to add another one. And you can add these where you want, wherever you feel comfortable that they're going to look the best, or where you want to cover up something that you don't think is maybe so neat. Okay, so I'm going to add another one there for just for decoration, and essentially you carry on doing that all the way around. I can't see the hole.
I've noticed that you're using those flush cutters a lot.
I love my flush cutters.
Do you? What is it about them you adore so much?
They fit in really neatly. The ends are neat and tidy. They're very, very precise. And so they allow me to get into places that the other ones don't allow me to get into. So if you look at an ordinary set of cutters, which I can't, these, and even, no, that's not. These are old, older jewellery maker pliers, but these just allow you to get in to tiny places really easily, and they're sharp and they last, and I've not managed to write off a pair yet, which...
Because every single guest designer is constantly reaching for these. Alison Tarry, I don't think, could do without her. She's always using them, isn't she?
Yeah.
And you use them a lot as well, and everybody absolutely adores them. Whenever we have them in as well, they do sell out instantly, which is why currently we haven't got any in stock until tomorrow.
Fantastic.
Designer inspiration tomorrow.
I would be watching because they, as they go to air, because they do disappear incredibly quickly. And yeah, you might look at the screen and think, that's an awful lot of money for a pair of flush cut plotters. Why can't I just use the ones in my basic kit? But they are absolutely worth every single penny, and the GM price is fantastic. If you try and get them elsewhere, you're going to be paying much, much more. So
true.
Another excuse for sitting at home tomorrow.
Watching the dog show with the flush cutters and loads more.
So I've wired in a couple of amethyst at this point, and I've got to the stage where my spiral is sitting conveniently near where I want to be. So all I've done is bring my wire around my frame and the spiral, so I can lock that spiral into place.
I see.
I'm going to pop a couple of those into there, and then I can add in another, however many you want really. They do vary in size, and it's more about how you feel it looks balanced rather than there being an exact formula for this.
Okay, so it's more do it by eye really.
It is. I mean, you can buy a kit from somewhere that has every single set of instructions and make a copy.
Yes.
And that's fine, and it's a good way of starting. But creating a piece that you want, if you like me, what happens is I can't quite make it do what the kit says, particularly when it comes to things like wiring, which are free form. It doesn't quite sit, and we're trying to make something that's exactly symmetrical. Does my head in, because I just find it almost impossible.
I'm exactly the same. Earrings with wire, nightmare.
So I find that actually taking a theme and then working with it and taking the inspiration from the pieces and then going from there actually just takes the pressure out of it. And you're meant to be enjoying what you're doing, not making it a talk show session. So, don't be stressed. have a play. You know, what's the problem? If you don't like it, you can take it apart. Yeah, you might have wasted a bit of wire, but that's about the limit, isn't it? And have fun with your jewellery making.
Definitely.
That's the most important thing. I tend to add in odd numbers rather than even, so that's a design thing I think many designers will use. Your eyes naturally tend to want to go to the middle of something, and in the middle of 4 is a space, and that's not really where you want someone's eyes to be settling, whereas middle of 5 is 3, so you've got a focal point to look at. So does that sort of make sense?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And Mother Nature generally works in odd numbers as well, doesn't she?
She does. Okay. So I've now pushed that in, and I've got 5 of my amethysts tucked down at the bottom.
Yep.
Yeah.
I see.
Yeah. And you can squish them however you want, they're quite malleable. And I've got a gap here between 2 spirals that will tend to ping apart or provide an area to catch if you're not careful.
Okay.
So all I've done is use my wire to catch it into place by wrapping the 2 spirals together at that point.
I see.
And that's the art of making wirework pieces, really, is to lock in the pieces so they can't spring apart, and so where pieces meet together, use that as an anchor point. If you don't want to see the wire, and I like the contrast between my green and gold here, then then you could put a stone over the top of that quite happily. And I'm going to take that down through the back, and I'm going to finish that piece of wire in a minute when I've tucked it down out of the way, because I can't use it for the next bit.
No.
Okay. So I'm going to take my flush cutters, cut it out, and I've deliberately cut it so that it's over the top of my frame, so that I can rock the ends in over the top, so they're going to be protected by the cabochon.
Okay.
Okay.
I see. I've got for you now, just whilst you're setting up the next section, a super saver wire bundle, structural. Now we have got the lovely Gemma doing her structural wire work DVD, not DVD, sorry, her structural wire work workshop tomorrow. Look at her jazzy trousers. Jazzy those, aren't they? Aren't they jazzy? Jazzy's a good word, isn't it? She's going to be creating really hard structural pieces. If you manage to get that whammer hammer, you're going to want to get your hands on this as well, because it's perfect gauges. 0.8 and your 1mm. 2 beautiful structural pieces. Your 1mm, of course, up until recently was our thickest of gauges, wasn't it? The 1mm, great for structural, perfect for the base work of a cab, great for doing chain links with as well. And then your 0.8, perfect for rings, perfect for creating your own findings, your own shepherd's hooks if you wish as well. Your 200 meters worth you have here, so 100 of each of these gauges in the silver colourway. Your price should have been £52.90 for 100 metres of your 1mm and 100 metres of your 0.8. Today though, it's not £53, it's tiny £34.95 for 200 metres worth. That is a huge saving, isn't it? NHGC 81 is your price. Massive saving on this today. It's such a cracking deal. Maggie, what's my saving on this?
It's a lot.
It's a lot. It is a lot. Absolutely. £17.95 to be precise. That is a massive amount, actually, isn't it? NHGC 81. This wire is going to last a while, isn't it?
It certainly is, and that's silver, and it just disappeared. So while you've got it in stock, go for it, because it's like gold dust, even
the wire, without marking it easily. That's at the bottom of your screen today. $34.95. NHGC81 is the $34.95 200 meters worth of your wire.
So by doing this, it's beginning to lock my spiral in, back spiral into the front piece, and providing some stability across the back.
I see.
If we look again on the main piece and turn that over, you can see that there are areas where I've caught the whole lot in together, particularly up at the top.
Yeah.
To add some integrity to it.
Wonderful.
And remember, yeah, each of the cabs is slightly varies in width and size. They're sold on carat weight rather than absolute size, and it allows you to be much more flexible if you, with it. If you work with the stone and let it tell you where it needs fixing.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, sorry about this.
No, do not worry whilst you're weaving away. I just want to let you know that if you do want the wammer, it's one of your last chances to get it now, because I've got all of it in here today. I've got, well, 70 left, that's about it. £18.95. XPB D51 is the code. There's a picture of it right there. It's a really professional, durable piece of kit. Give it a go if you're fed up of ruining wires, if you're wrecking, you're scratching, you're just generally getting really irritated with your hammer. Ooh, gosh. Then you're not going to have that problem as much with this at all. $18.95 for you today. Get it whilst you can. And this wire as well, you can get your hands on 200 meters worth, all in all. Massive saving on it today. Just over £17 worth. It's yours today for £34.95. Stock up whilst you can, I would suggest, definitely.
So this is just fiddly rather than complicated, but so having, and you can carry on and do this because you're adding that little bit of detail over the front of the stone. And again, working with the concept of the I likes threes, I've sort of, in my head, I've split my cab into 3. So I'd like to put a couple more stone of the amethyst here, and ultimately some down here, so we've got a balance. Yeah. So at home, I would probably continue to wire with that over and under technique a little bit further than I've done here, but time's probably not going to allow me to do all of that. So
we've got probably about 8 minutes.
Yeah, so time's definitely not going to allow me to do all of that. So we carry on, and we're going to add a group of amethyst at this point and anchor it through. And it is just fiddly. And I would add 2 or 3 here, then take it down. I'm aware that at this point, this top piece of wire isn't attached to underneath, so I'm going to take it back under my loop at the back to link it in, and I do another significant amount of figure of 8 to tie that in and to give a nice appearance on the back before I then added in another set of amethyst down here and tied these 2 loops together.
I see.
Okay, so rather than carrying on, because it's more of the same, so I was then left with a cab that I like the look of, and brain of Britain me hadn't actually got a method of attaching it to anything. Yeah?
Yes.
Yeah. So, but I clearly needed a way of attaching it. So I took a length of my structural wire and turned it over to the back, and in fact you can wriggle your wires underneath your spiral and catch it in place.
So that's the chartreuse going
That's the
all.
It is, yeah. And then so it's just a piece underneath there. Yeah.
Yes, I see. So it's going underneath all of them,
the spiral,
and then
and then all I've done is pull the ends together.
Okay.
and I've wire wrapped it to form my bail.
I love that you've done it this way, because I've got to admit the bail for me is always the trickiest bit to do.
So I've now got an attractive loop at the top, and I've taken more of my wire and wired into it. Okay. And that again is a simple over and under weave, nothing very complicated about it to take it up to the top. So let me just pop those together quickly. Those flat. So I went over, under, over, under, over, under.
It's almost a figure of 8.
It is a figure of 8, yes, absolutely. Did about a centimetre and a bit, and then wanted a turning point. So I used the little quartz-like flowers come with a tiny bead in between them.
Yeah, they do, the little clear spacer.
Yeah. A tiny, tiny spacer bead. So I've put a spacer bead, one of the rose quartz, and then another spacer bead at the top where I've turned it over.
Oh yeah, you can see it just here.
To add a little bit of detail. So for speed, I will just put the single quartz in. So all I've done is threaded that onto my wire.
Wonderful.
Popped it in and used that as the turning point.
Okey pokes.
Folded these over on both sides. Carried on the weave along the back, pulling those in.
So you keep it going all the way down.
Yeah. And then I've crossed them. Literally.
The 2 base wires.
Yeah, so we've got a cross.
I see.
And then folded these round to the front and made a spiral up and a spiral down to give you these 2.
That's a really clever way to add a bail on. Really very clever. So can you see on here that this is the woven section, and then this spiral here is actually taken from the back, and we've just weaved along it, and the same the other side. Can you see that, how it comes around? Really easy technique, isn't it?
Very easy.
Because I find a nightmare doing bails, I really do. It's always the bit that you want to look really beautiful, because it's usually the bit you do at the end, isn't it?
Yep.
And I personally find it an absolute nightmare sometimes.
Well, the other
I love
thing,
this technique.
because you've added it as a separate piece, if you really make a mess of it, you can pull that wire out and start again. Whereas if you've made it as an integral piece to the cab wrapping and you make a mess of it, you're in trouble, really.
Absolutely.
So it allows you to deal with that. And then all I've done is make a talk with a mixture of my wires. So if you want to get a close-up of this one, what I've done is taken 2 pieces of the chartreuse wire.
2 of the chartreuse, yeah.
Okay, and put those in my pliers. And then I've taken 3 pieces of my thinner gauge wire.
Your gold,
wrap those together to make a thick strand of the gold, and then mix that with the 2 strands of the gold.
So you twist and twist.
Twist on twist. So that's a twist on twist for this one, and this one is 2 strands of not twisted of the gold. So it gives a very different look.
That's a totally
depending
different
on what you
effect,
want to
isn't
do.
it, actually? If I hold them next to each other.
And I actually think I prefer the second one, but yeah. So that gives you lots of variations. So if you haven't got a wire twister tool, now's the time to find the website and go and buy one.
Now's
because they are really, really good, and they allow you to use your thinner wires in a more structural way.
Yeah.
And then I've just added a pre-made toggle clasp at the back. But you could make your own out of wire if you wanted to.
Absolutely. Jill, it's a wonderful, wonderful piece. Can't believe it's your first one. I really, really can't. It's absolutely beautiful, really exquisite. I love as well how you've used different chains, different links, how you've done just a really simple, I imagine, cluster for the earrings, and it's just a beautiful selection.
It's a beady bead, but made with the little amethyst
the
drops. Yeah, it's
wonderful.
literally just a beady bead. But because you're not using a round stone,
Yeah,
you get a completely different look.
That's wonderful, isn't it? Oh, Jill, thank you so much for showing us these designs. They truly are spectacular. Do let us know what you think. Do text us in. I've got Jill with me for the next hour or so. If you've got any last minute questions or you want any help with anything, do let us know. All you have to do is text us. 60777 is the text number. Now, I'm heading back to you in a little bit to see your challenge. Has it begun?
Yes,
Oh.
but nothing's complete yet. So, yes, we've got a challenging hour ahead to get something done, I think. Never mind, we'll do our best.
We'll do our best. I'm sure you've got plenty of time. We'll probably have a good 50 minutes or so. Loads of time. We are going to be heading back to you after a break. I've got coming up, what did you say then, love? I've got loads. Good. Opal, emerald, price discounts coming out of my ears pretty much. Honestly, there's so much price slashing going on in this last section. Stay exactly where you are because I have got treats galore. I'll see you in a moment.
If you love classic jewellery, then why not come and join guest designer Gemma Crow on our vintage workshop. Gemma will guide you through various beading and wirework techniques which will inspire you to create timeless designs from a bygone era. The full course includes a selection of wire, a selection of findings and charms, a bead scoop, use of all relevant tools and equipment, a buffet lunch and refreshments, a tour of the studio and a visit to our Gemstone Museum. All of this for just $69.95. Have a blast from the past and take home some amazing designs. For further information, contact our call centre on 0800 644 655. Do you need a helping hand to get started with Jewellery Maker? Are you stuck for ideas and need inspiration? Then visit our Jewellery Maker website where you can find our video tutorials. Expand your knowledge and skills with these easy to follow jewellery making demonstrations. Whether you're a beginner, hobbyist or business owner, there's always something new to learn. It couldn't be easier. Simply click and learn some new jewellery making techniques.
Pearls are classic. I mean, who doesn't love pearls? You look at them, they look elegant, they look classy, and they make elegant, classy jewellery when you're creating with them. I think right from the whitest of white pearl to the peach pearl, they're always stunning, and anybody can wear them. They're one of my favourites. You see them, don't you, in expensive jewellers, covered in diamonds. Diamond and pearls are the classic duo, and that's why I love pearls.
Pearls are always a huge seller on Jewellery Maker, and I think it's because there's a huge amount of emotional attachment to them. I think whatever walk of life you come from, whatever your age, you always associate pearls with maybe someone who's worn pearls before you, maybe your grandma, maybe your mum. So there's always that emotional attachment to pearls, and they can be classic, they can be contemporary, they can really be whatever you want them to be, and definitely one of my favourite gemstones.
You can now keep in touch by liking Jewellery Maker UK on Facebook. Get interactive with Jewellery Maker.
It started with a small idea and then just grew. We all created our own sections, bringing them together to make something quite unique. Oh, Sheila, you do talk good. Unlike me. Oh, isn't that interesting? This is Make and Sell Jewellery. Our beautiful Jewellery Maker collaboration pieces in this. I showed Gemma Crow before. Her face lit up 4 times in a row. She's been in this, Gemma Crow. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, this is our collaboration piece that was created by a few of our guest designers, including the lovely Sheila. for our birthday show. Isn't that beautiful? There's bits in there made by lots of different guest designers, all coming together. So for example, the chainmail you can see on the shoulder, that was done by Debbie Bulford. The calves done by Sheila. Isn't that lovely? Isn't it wonderful? And it says, loves. It tells you exactly, if you want to have a look at how that's made and they discuss through it, do have a look back at our birthday show. My name is Rebecca Redican, this is Designer Inspiration, and I am joined by the lovely Gill. Hi Gill.
Hi.
What are you up to?
I'm started my challenge so that I can have something to show from those beautiful bridal strands that I was given at the start of the show that I haven't quite had any time to get to yet, but never mind.
You've got a bit of time now. Bit of time. Plenty of time. Plenty of time, they say, and they got loads of time. You can come out here and make something. In fact, Scott, what are you up to now? Surely you could come and make something now. I've got Helena producing me at the moment, so come on, Scott, come out and make us a pair of earrings or something. I have got for you now, seriously, discounts left, right and centre. I have got a really, really beautiful piece of opal coming up for you now as well. Now, opal. This is a special one. This is your Dendrite opal. Now, I just, you know, I like to sort of highlight to you, don't I, what to look for in certain gemstones. A lot of the time when it comes to opal, you might initially think, well, to judge high quality opal to the eye, I need to be looking for colour play. Well, that's not the case when it comes to Dendrite. Dendrite within itself, within the composition of itself, it has zero colour play whatsoever. With Dendrite opal, what you're actually looking for is what we refer to as a fern-like structure, or a tree-like structure it's sometimes compared to. And this is essentially areas of darkness and shade, which is, and it basically gives you these really interesting internal inclusions. Now, I actually researched the other day, and I typed in something like perfect specimen of Dendrite opal, and this is one of the pictures that came up. So you can see in there exactly what I'm talking about. You've got the fern-like structure there. Can you see the areas of black? That is actually manganese oxide, which makes up these dark areas. And then you've also got those areas of the kind of yellows and the browns that are just kind of cascading through here. Bear that image in mind, and now take a look at what you can own. I've got to say, that perfect specimen and this specimen here, there's really not much in it, is there? Isn't this exceptional? Every single one of these totally unique in appearance. You've got those areas of dark and shade that we saw on that perfect specimen. You've got these areas of the fern-like sort of a manganese oxide sections with that dark jet running through here. Now, this gemstone has been used for centuries and centuries. It was taken kind of on board and very much to heart of a gentleman called Carl Fabergé, who I'm sure a lot of you will know from his work in the Russian court. Now, he actually worked for the Imperial Russian court, creating beautiful pieces of artwork for around 31 years. And one of the pieces that he would work with predominantly was this gemstone, pretty much always working it alongside diamond, which I think will go to give you an idea of how much this gemstone itself is and was revered. It's a beautiful, stunning example. Taking a look at that picture again, you can just see all of the areas in here, can't you? Everything you can see on that stunning specimen, you are getting from this, aren't you? The area of shade, the area of light, the dark areas. It's a beautiful, faceted, elongated drop as well. It's an exquisite gem, and it's a stunning deal. Should be priced today. I promised you discounts left, right and centre. It's not that. How do you feel about £5 off? On genuine Dendrite Opal. This used to be worked into Fabergé eggs. This used to be worked alongside diamonds. This has been revered and renowned for centuries. £14.95 for you today. It's exceptional. It's a wonderful piece of jewellery, and the shape as well. You've got these elongated, faceted, beautiful drops there. The lovely thing with a facet on this type of gemstone is that it almost has a matte-like effect, but then the light catches and you're just blown away with interest. Your eyes drawn in initially, you know, possibly by the facets, by this occasional sparkle, and then your eyes stay for these beautiful, unique, internal, oh, it's just so stunning. Inclusion Central, dark light shade, £5 off is making it even better, isn't it? Imagine this as a pair of earring strand. You could get a couple of pairs of earrings, maybe a pendant. If you're thinking of doing, you know, those beautiful chain headpieces that I'm sure you've all seen on the high street, you only need one of these for that, wouldn't you? You truly, truly would. This is the lowest price you've ever seen this strand at, and it's yours today, but you've got to be quick. HORU 78 is your code. 140 carats worth of this today. I cannot believe the size of what I'm just about to show you. They are huge. We have just started doing multicoloured pearls. I think I've only seen actually one strand, and they've been the pastel tones. Well, this is not that. Wow, this is impactful. This is like bright and breezy. Take a look at these. Wow. Multicoloured cultured potato pearls. Blimey, they're multicoloured, aren't they? That's like Arabian Nights, isn't it? This is bright, bold. You've got sapphire tones in there, haven't you? You've got rubies, you've got rum tones, you've got these really deep emeralds as well in there. Stunning selection. 13 by 10 mil. Oh my goodness, that's huge. Taking around 13 years per one. Per mil for Mother Nature to create. That is exceptional. And then you've also got your potato pearls, which have got this gorgeous candy floss like texture to them. Take a real good look at these, because we haven't had any on like this for ages. They are absolutely adored though. It gives you this beautiful organic texture. Do you know what I adore about this? The fact that you know this is natural. You're not going to have this on your stall. Someone's not going to have to come up to you and go, excuse me, are those plastic? They're obviously not. This is genuine gemstone. It's not a genuine gemstone, it's a genuine organic. And you can see that straight away, can't you? You can tell. It's beautiful that sometimes with pearls, let's say if you're working with the perfect rounds, people might be forgiven for asking whether or not they're real, wouldn't they? I don't think you'll get anyone asking with either of these two strands. They are exceptional. And again, on the white strand, 13 by 10 you're going up in size by. These are your Pearl Perfection Duo. Your price today, £17.90. It'd be good. But I told you, left, right and centre, I said, price drops. You know I'm not going to let you down. Your price today is just £14.90. I'm sorry, I can't wait for the price to come in. £14.90? How much is that off? That's a lot off, isn't it? Isn't it? Isn't it? He sent it, Maggie. £14.90. Now, we should not be price slashing pearls. Let's face it. We're not meant to be at all because of the situation with pearls at the moment. I think as well, since the film that came out in April, Vanishing Pearls, the community, jewellery maker community, and also the world is much more aware now of the sad situation with pearls and how difficult it is to get our hands on them. Genuinely, I would love that information, Ryan, if you've got it to hand. Bear with. What's that off, Miranda? Anyway, you've got here such a beautiful, unique, organic, but also it is something that we're struggling to find at the moment. Hong Kong, our lovely Paula and Hannah O went to last week, was it? And you know, they saw the dramatic price hike over there of genuine pearls. Paula, in fact, you may well have seen, she got offered a ridiculous discount, sort of, you know, half price discount on some of the genuine pearls that they had out there. And even then it was coming in at a couple of grand, pretty much, just for one strand as a necklace. We've not been able to find that many pearls, and one of the reasons that pearls are going up in price is due to the fact that the yields have gone down, essentially. In the past 4 years, it's been a decrease of around 60%, which on a graph you will be able to see looks like this. So that is from the first date that you can see there is 2010, and then look at that decrease, 60% decrease. That's the yields up the side, 60% decrease from 2013. Now that continued to go down dramatically. Now what happens when the yield goes down? The price goes up. Of course it does. Yes, they are rarely seen. Absolutely. No idea what that was. There it is. So the price itself will just change dramatically. Look at that. 40% compared to the same time last year. It's a massive amount. And that is just increasing and increasing and increasing in the price. Pearls are obviously really popular at the moment, aren't they? When I started presenting at the very end of last year, I kept saying to you, didn't I, that, you know, Chanel, Karl Lagerfeld was talking about pearls and the popularity of pearls. We've been talking about how every fashion house has kind of got their models strewn in pearls or pearl-like fabrics, so such as the silks, for this season and for this year, and it's absolutely happened. Popularity has gone up. Again, with the yields going down, it is an issue, it is something, and it is something that we've seen come into fruition. And these are your cultured pearls, so you're still having that effect coming down on there. You won't see the price hike in things like your shell pearls, of course, which I have got a lot coming up for you. We managed to source quite a lot of strands of shell pearls, which will be coming up for you in the next few months. But to get your hands on genuine, this really is your opportunity. Jigsy 50, no, Yigsy that is, not Jigsy. Yigsy, sounds a bit like Gigsy. YIGC 50 is your code today. So next up, we've got have a little look. This is your Snatic quartz. Quartz is a funny one, isn't it? And gemstones in general can be quite witty, sort of, in the sense that they all have different attributes to them that you're going to be looking for. When it comes to quartz, I think it's quite safe in saying that a lot of the time you're looking for clarity, aren't you? When I talk to you about your amethyst, when I talk to you, you know, about your clear quartz, suggestions in the name, you want clarity, don't you? Totally different when it comes to your Snatic quartz though. The reason being, you want this internal structure, and that's what it is. I know it might be hard for you to see at home because, you know, if you haven't owned this gemstone before, it might be relatively tricky for you to see at home, but what looks to you possibly that this is on the surface, actually all of these deep rouges, these deep reds are internal within here. They're not just scattered on the surface. Similar to a rutile quartz in a way, they're all internal and all jetting about on the inside. 100 carats worth you have of your Snatic quartz, and what you're looking for is these inclusions. That's how you know you've got the quality there. It's not been seen since May. It's a long time since we've had this on. If you have a little look online for this gemstone, make sure you're getting the real deal, because a lot of the time you will see things such as strawberry quartz, and when that's highlighted, often it's referring to a man-made gemstone. So do have a little look out there, because to get it like this totally naturally is a real rarity. Each one of these different internal inclusions, often that will be tourmaline, and that's what you've got jetting about on the inside of this a lot of the time. 100 carats worth is a graduated slab. The price? £9.95. Or is it? No, it's not. That's your should be price. That's the price that it has been. That's what you bought it last time. That's what it is. It has been on the website. It's not. Just under £10, which is a bargain. It's natural gemstone. £6.95. Jill, what do you think of that?
That's beautiful. That is truly beautiful. It's so organic, and that's added to by the shape, which takes you in a very different direction than a round would. And the pink tone is quite subtle, yet the with the contrasting markings, it really does look really pretty. It's not a stone that I've actually worked with before, but it's very different, and I think would make some really nice collar necklace, maybe just with a simple spacer bead in between each of them, so that you could see each of the stones to the best of their abilities and highlight the differences within them. You'd maybe actually only need 5 strong on a piece, across the centre, or 7, and you could possibly make 2 or 3 pieces out of that without much difficulty. So at £6.95, 3 pieces of jewellery, £2 for the stones plus some findings. It's really good, isn't it?
Really good. Have you seen this in the flesh before?
No.
How's about, Jill, do you want to pop on over here, because I want to show you this, because I think it's really hard to tell on the screen. Can you see you've got clarity in there that's really hard to see on the screen, isn't it? If you were to describe this, because I always think when you look at it at the camera, it looks like that's all on the surface, but you can see in real life.
It absolutely isn't. You can see the depth of the stone and the individual bits that give in the colour floating in the depth of the stone. So you've got, it really does show the depth, and the fact that each inclusion is suspended in its own background matrix, and it's beautiful. If you think it looks murky and sort of muddy on the screen where you've got lots of inclusions, it's not, because you could just spend hours just looking at each of those stones and looking at the inclusion. If you compare that central one, which is very dark, with this one that's got all its inclusions down one side, for example, then it's just a talking point, isn't it? If you have those on your neck, people would want to know what it was and where it had come from, and where you'd got it, I think, because it is.
And what price?
Yeah, I mean, if you graded those, you could colour grade them, you could size grade them, and you could get a number of pieces out of that without much difficulty, and make your money back if you're wanting to sell it, or just have some really beautiful gifts if that's what you're wanting to do with them.
Definitely. I'm glad that you came and looked at it, because I did just want to make it clear that it is all on the inside, which it's hard to grasp, but also you've got the clarity, haven't you?
Yes,
Each one has got
lovely.
beautiful transparency. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Jill, you're a love. It's never been that price before. Last chance to get it now, because I've got handfuls left of that. Oh, hello, pretties. Oh, I watched The Wizard of Oz the other day. That's just reminded me. Look at this beautiful strand of my birthstone. It's gorgeous amethyst. Faceted to perfection. I haven't played 3 words with you today, Jill.
Stunning.
Stunning.
Spectacular.
Spectacular. Oh, go on. Top it off with another S.
I know, I'm just thinking about that.
Go
Special.
on. Let's special. I adore that. 60 carats worth of this. Why does this gemstone make you think special and spectacular and all those beautiful words?
Well, it's my stepdaughter's birthstone, so it holds a special place for my family, and I think that it probably does for lots of other people. The cut on those is showing the clarity of the stone really well.
Definitely.
And it's a beautiful, beautiful tone of purple that again, it's just fantastic. I'd buy that with a heartbeat. You know, it just is. It's lovely.
What about with those purple opal? I've just thought that purple opal we did before would be stunner, wouldn't it? Your price on this today is astonishing. £7.95. Only been seen once before. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20 genuine gemstones I've got on my strand. Of course, it is done on carat weight, and therefore I can't guarantee you'll get 20. But if you were per stone, that would be minute amount. 49 per genuine gemstone. Now look at these, because these are, for me, perfect ring sizes. 49 pence. Now let's add a bit of wire, shall we? Let's go crazy and add loads of wire. Let's add 50 pence worth of wire. You would be making yourself a ring for under £1, wouldn't you?
Be.
But how much would you be selling it for? Mates rates, £5, surely. That mates rates, I mean. Everyone else, tenner maybe? With this quality of stone, and a really well-known stone as well, isn't it? Pete, amethyst, okay?
My birthday.
Come here, it's your birthday. When's your birthday?
16th.
16th. Helena, when's your birthday? 18th of Feb. Ooh, mine's 27.
Yeah.
How old are you turning?
What? The next? Yeah, 24. Yeah.
Gorgeous. Amethyst, it's your birthstone.
Yeah.
Why do you like it apart from that?
I like the colour of purple. I like how passionate it is. It's really passionate.
Oh, Pete, you little minx! I don't think I've ever heard you say passionate before.
It's really bright and vivid, isn't it?
Yeah, you're absolutely right. It is. Well, Pete says passionate. If that's not an excuse to purchase it, I don't know what it is, to be honest, Pete. It is though, isn't it? £7.95, a gemstone that Pete's passionate about. 60 carats worth. PORU 78 is the code. I've got some zest now. I've got some zest, some lime, some lemony tone. I've got serious citrus taking place. And I think it's fair to say a seriously striking price. Lemon quartz. It's bright, it's breezy. It is, hang on, let me double check. It is eye clear, absolutely eye clear. Now this has had a little bit of heat on it just to intensify that colour that we have running through here, which gives a really dramatic zest appeal, doesn't it? Sometimes with lemon quartz, you can almost you have to imagine the colour actually, don't you? I think it's safe to say that you do not for a second with this. You can see the lemony, you can see the brightness, you can see how striking this is. beautiful for a summertime bridal, wouldn't it be? Really exceptional. 40 carats worth we have here on this beautiful strand. Do you know what? I told you it's going to be a stunning price, so I want to show you. Price today is a tiny £8.95. This for me is pretty much a ready done piece of jewellery, isn't it? This, obviously restrand it, a few different spaces, but this is belle of the ball. This is a really, I can see, Jill, that you've fallen in love with this a little bit, haven't you?
It's gorgeous. The colour is subtle, but it's definitely there. You couldn't say it was washed out by any means. It would look completely different against a white background compared to the black background. It's an evening piece, it's a summer daytime piece.
Oh yeah.
It's a happy piece, and that cut is lovely. And even if you just took the biggest stone and made it into a simple drop for a pendant, maybe with a little bit of wire around wrapping around a bail, and two of the smaller ones as earrings, you'd have a lovely suite of jewellery that's probably, you could probably sell for 20-25 pounds.
Definitely.
Just because of the stones, and you'd still be tons left to just look at and admire and dream about.
Dream about is absolutely completely right, isn't it? This is one of those zesty, eye-popping pieces at an eye-popping price. £8.95 for you on this today. I've got a bit of a bundle coming up for you now. Wow, oh my goodness, do you remember that chalcedony I had on the other day that were those like amber tones, orangey tones? I've got its brother here. it's the same gem strand. It's that beautiful organic effect, but it's in a blue tone. Can you remember this strand I had on the other day? Because this is the one, if you remember, when I got to the middle, I showed you it was triangular shape, and I said it'd be beautiful as like a faux prong set wire wrap ring, personally. This is a beautiful collection, really, really deep blue of the chalcedony, 160 carats worth on this strand. You've also got in here your red agate as well. You know, on the make and sell jewellery that I've just shown you, and we showed the picture of the collaborational piece with some of our guest designers, and they suitashed around a cab on that, didn't they? Lovely Sheila did. It was the same size as these that we used for some of them. 3 mil of these. If you have got the bead loom, then I'm sure you have had a whale of a time using this type of shape and size. 15 carats worth of this you have got today. 3 mil on these. You've also got this exquisite, this delicate, this super gentle peridot strand. Now, how often do we get peridot in? Not very often anymore. Look at the graduation in that. 65 carats worth of peridot, 160 of your chalcedony, and 15 of your agate. All 3 strands today. Should be £12.85. That's a scorcher of a deal, but I'm going to make it better for you. Left, right and centre, I said, and I meant it. Price drops galore. How do you feel about taking it to a tiny £9.95 for you on this today? 3 strands for £9.95. That means that you're getting each individual strand for a minuscule amount. 3 strands, £9.95. You're getting your price today per strand of just £3.31 for this strand of peridot. Peridot, when we're looking at peridot, you're normally, I would say, for this deepness and colour and intensity and saturation and this beautiful, almost archetypal hue that we've got here, you'd be looking around £9 just for this one strand, wouldn't you, generally? What do you think of this collection of your peridot, your chalcedony, and your amber coloured agate?
I love those. The peridot is such a beautiful pop of colour, and the amber coloured agate sets it off hugely. I'm not sure I'd use the chalcedony with it. I love the chalcedony. I think it's a beautiful stone in its own right, but for me it would be the amber quartz and the peridot that I might put together from that kit, because I think the contrast of colours is stunning and it reminds me of a summer's day, really.
I adore that. And then what would you do with the chalcedony?
I would want to showcase how unique each of those stones was. So I would probably maybe do a Rachel Norris type heart with gizmo and put the chalcedony into that. So wire each stone on in its own special place within the heart. So
yeah, that's a lovely idea. Really nice, great texture you'd get from that as well, wouldn't you? Beautiful texture. Genuine gemstone all sorts, this is called. BZGC95. You're getting 3 strands here for just £9.95. Congratulations, people who are managing to get your hands on this. When you've got the opportunity to purchase genuine gemstones for the price of glass, you're chuffed, aren't you, really? £9.95 for you today is a bargain. Now I've got some gorgeous spaces for you here. Wowzers, huge spaces. Now spaces are really very, very useful for a multitude of reasons, I'm sure you will know. If you're new to us, or maybe you're not sure what we're talking about here, these can be used to create space within your design. So for example, if you had a lot of drop style, pendant style gemstones, you might want to separate these up using your spaces so they don't all rattle together. It's also a great way of making your gemstones go further because you've got your copper beads here adding space to them. It's wonderful as a threading accent because you've got such a large hole going through here, a size that actually might be impossible to get on the majority of other gemstones. You can get lots of different cords through here, your satin cord, your wax cord, possibly even your suede can come through this as well. Spaces are great too if you want to cover up, say, a crimp bead that's just finishing off a design and you haven't got the crimp bead cover, then you can use this in that same way. 195 of these 4mm spaces you've got. It is your copper, so it's got the strength there, but then it has got that rose gold plating, which means you've got high shine, you've got a love colour through it. Spaces are something that everybody uses, no matter what technique you're into. Mark will use them in macrame. He actually also use them on memory wire. These are perfect just to finish off that memory wire detail, but also say you want to do a chips and nuggets memory wire design, but you kind of want to have a focal area for the eye to go to, then these work perfectly. You can use it with Kumihimo because again you've got such a large hole in here that you can work that onto it perfectly, and you can see them actually. If I show you this, this is with your satin cord, and can you see on here? That's going through your satin cord with these. So using them, just simply adding a knot at the base, and again it draws your eye down the whole of the piece, doesn't it? You can use this within wire work. You can use this with, you can bake it as well. Let's get your price in, price today. It's just £7.95 for you, 195 pieces of these. That's a stunner, isn't it? Because they're so workable, so versatile. It's really, really easy for you to work with these. They're great to work with, aren't they, spaces?
It's something I always have a big pile of at home, and I know I've said that before when it comes to findings, but you can make a stunning necklace with just simple beads and a spacer in between them, and somehow just the addition of the spacer makes it just look all that much more luxurious. And it says that it's not just being thrown together from a single strand. And it's a simple thing to do, but for the added appearance, it's absolutely worth having. And I love the rose gold. It's warm, it adds another hue to everything, and it's soft and it's feminine, and it's that good medium in between the sort of in between the gold and the silver. It's neither one or the other, and the pinky hue again makes it really, really feminine.
And rose gold is always ever so popular when you're looking at the popularity of different shades and different colours. I know our sister channel does a lot of collections working with the rose gold colourway, because essentially it's an easy sell. It's an easy sell out. It's a colour that a lot of people absolutely adore. I think when you think of colours, I don't know about you, Jill, but if I asked you, I already know the answer, I guess, but if I asked you, are you a silver or a gold kind of lady?
A gold.
Are you? I'm a silver kind. Do you like rose gold?
I love rose gold.
And I too love rose gold. That goes to show, doesn't it? It really, really does. It's just ticking so many boxes. It's ticking a lot of boxes for you too. Make sure you're checking out your baskets. I know a few people have missed out on a few things today already. AZ 68 is the code. Only seen once before. Get it whilst you can. £7.95 for you today. If you were going to create something with these, just using these, what would you do, Jill?
I would Kumihimo them. Take some of the Eslon thread that we've got and have a look at Prue's designer inspiration pages from her shows, or and then I would probably string them all on and Kumihimo them, so that I'd got a very luxurious looking gold necklace to all intents and purposes, and only I would know the secret that it wasn't solid gold, it was the beads strung together.
Yeah. Oh, we have got your chain at the bottom of the screen, which works perfectly too. If you were to work these together, that would be exceptional, wouldn't it?
It certainly would. Yeah.
We've still got these 5 chains available. If you've only just tuned in, you think, what, I've missed out on my chain. Last chance saloon, I'm in. Last chance saloon on this chain. Get it whilst you can. First time and last time you're going to see it. You've got these different colours. Sorry, not the different colours, you've got the different shapes in here, all in your rose gold colourway. This is at the base of your screen right now. 30 left. Once it's gone, it's gone. You've got no more opportunities after today. SLAZ 97 at £27.95. It's also your introductory price. Anytime you see this from now on, it's going to be £29.95, like the gold that we launched the other day. But this is your premier price point today in the rose gold, £27.95. So I've now got one of the big 4 for you. One of the very big 4. I cannot get over the fact that this is natural. Genuinely, to see clarity in this gemstone when it's natural is almost unheard of. This gemstone I'm about to show you, it's estimated that around in between 96 and 99% of this on the market today is treated. So this is in around the top 4 percentile. It's astonishing. The fact you've got clarity in here is mesmerizing. I'm going to be doing something unheard of with this. There will be a little bit of money coming off it. I'm just going to give you a heads up. There will be. Now, the fact of the matter is you've got clarity in this emerald. Now, why is that so special? Well, it's something we aim for. It's something we focus on. And the reason is because when we treat this gemstone, a lot of the time we treat it to give it what this strand here has naturally, which is the clarity. Now, when we treat emerald, the majority of the time, there's 3 main areas I would say of treatment on the gem. There's heat to change the colour and intensify the colour. Well, why would you heat a gemstone like this when it just doesn't need it? This is that emerald green, isn't it? You know this is emerald green straight away. It almost conjures up images, doesn't it? You know, your emerald green tone is here, so there's no need to heat it. You can also add oils to the gem to help strengthen it. Now there's no need again to do that with this, because already when you look at these, the structure of these, when it's gone through our rigorous testing sites and authentication processes, we've already seen that the internal structure of this is strong enough, heavier duty enough, not only to be faceted to perfection like it is on this strand, but also it's been perfect to be stranded on, and therefore is perfect and fit for use for jewellery making. Another one of the main treatments we give to emerald is filling, which is created mainly to give the gemstone the look of transparency, because I'm sure a lot of you will know when we think of emerald and you think high grade emerald, you want some clarity in there really. That goes to show, it's one of the things you should have in the tick boxes in your head, that you've got the clarity in there. That means you're dealing with quality. And if we fill an emerald with glass or a glass based substance, that's what it gives the effect of. It gives the effect of a clarity. You don't need to with this, because Mother Nature has already given us the clarity in this. That's how serious the quality is here. You're not going to believe what I'm about to do with this. Genuinely, congratulations to people who've already got it. £47.95. Huge price slash now. Huge. Huge. This should not be happening. Genuinely should not. Your price today, £34.95. This is an astonishing purchase. If you're managing to get your hands on this, you are getting value for money unlike any other. Your saving today on this is dramatic. £13, unlucky for some but not unlucky for us. This has got clarity, this is natural. Look at the hue of this. That is that archetypal hue we're looking for. Look at the saturation, look at that intensity, look at the symmetry within this. There's not some areas of deep dark and then areas of deep light. The work that has gone in purely to getting this much symmetry naturally, again, don't forget, no treatment on this whatsoever. Sometimes to get symmetry on a strand, which is what you want, that's what you're looking for with certain gemstones, especially ones like this. To get symmetry on a strand, all we have to do is heat it a bit, to be honest. Add a little bit of heat to it, intensifies the colour. You can kind of have the colour whatever you want and then you just strand it on. This is done by Mother Nature. You don't need that with this. You don't want to do that with this at all. The colour tone is already there, and the fact that this is natural is spectacular. £13 off emerald purely should not happen. This quality is unrivaled, it really is. I've had a look online, I've seen what we've got on our website, and for me this is the highest quality we currently have at this moment in time. I'll be honest with you, you can't exactly see it, can you? You can't exactly see the light cascading through this and this impactful punch of power that the light's drawing through. You can't see it at home because the lights in here are setting light in the set and myself and the guest designer, but you will be getting it at home because of course it's 30-day money back guarantee. What do you think, Jill?
I would buy it. Simple as that. That green is beautiful, and to say that you owned that amount of emerald would be incredible. It's just beautiful. I think it's personal opinion, but I think that's some of the nicest emerald I've seen on screen. It is lovely. A lot of emerald is milky, and the natural inclusions are meant to be in it, but that is lovely. The transparency in that is really good.
It is astonishing. It truly is. The gemstone that is said that it will help you see the inner truth, it will help you see your inner self, which is one of the reasons that, you know, Emerald City was in the Wizard of Oz, actually, because if you think about it, at the end of the film, you know, everyone goes, don't they, and they get told that they were looking for courage, they were looking for heart, they were looking for a brain, but actually they had it all along. That's one of the reasons that this gemstone was picked for that story and for that tale, because this gemstone is said to do that, so it was believed in history. £34.95 for you today. That's just astonishing. It truly is. I've got some silver chain for you here now on the spool. Gosh, this has been ever so popular. 10 meters worth you have of this chain. It's sturdy, it's strong, it's almost got the sort of nautical links, if that makes sense. If you are into doing the chain jewellery, if you have fallen in love with the Gemma Crow piece that she popped up on Facebook a couple of weeks ago, if you're adoring keeping up to date with the high-end fashions at this moment in time, you'll know all about the ideas and the functions of chain, but also how delicate and pretty it can be. And speaking of delicate, 2mm links on this. That is a lot of work gone into this, isn't there? 10 meters worth of silver plated copper chain. It's got the luxurious plating, but then it's also got that strength of the copper internally. It will come on a spool, which makes it really very simple to work with. This is a relatively new way that we've been bringing this to you. So I hope that you can get involved with this today at a cheeky price of just... That's it, £18.95 for 10 meters worth. Do you use chain quite a bit, Jill?
I think it's an easy way of finishing a necklace. It means that you can have chain at the back instead of your gemstones, which I personally think it makes it more comfortable to wear. And I love Gemma Crow's pieces at the weekend, where she's got the cascading chain. It's so in fashion as a look. And the pieces on the high street, well, you'd pay that for one piece from the high street if you were going to go for that designer look. So the fact that you've got 10 meters, you could make loads with that, and you know, and save money. Yes, it might mean that you've had to make a little bit of effort to make it for yourself, but then you've got the pleasure of making it, and you can make it to fit you as opposed to being a generic size, particularly if you're as short as I am, or if you're a very tall lady where you might need a longer length just to, you know, to sit nicely on the décolleté. It's lovely.
Absolutely agree with that. It's really workable, it's really useful, and chain's one of those things, if you do enjoy working with it, there's really not that much of a substitute, is there?
No.
There's really not. For example, with, say, let me think, let's say spacers, okay? You can use things to get around spacers, can't you? You could do, for example, a gizmo coil, or you could, you know, use crimp bead covers or crimps themselves, or you could use the spacers from a strand or whatever. But with chain, although of course you can make your own link chains, tiny, delicate 2mm like this, with this much movement, this much strength, it's hard to recreate, really, isn't it? It truly is. £18.95. Check out your baskets. Question for Jill. Will a head pin or eye pin go through the spaces in the chain? Oh, so that's for me, actually, isn't it? Sorry, Jill, it's me making you put your glasses on and everything. You can't really see from here, can you? You will be able to, absolutely. Have I got a findings pack about? I have. Jill. Love that. Thanks, chicken. So I've got a head pin here for you just from our findings pack. I hope this helps you out, Sean. You'll be able to see that you can get these through here, absolutely. Hang on, sorry, let me get my hands out of the way. What a nightmare. Can't see.
If you can't get one of those through, and you're thinking about wanting to add a jump ring to the end, you might struggle with the jump ring, but I would have thought that the featherweight eye pins will easily go through, and you'll be able to attach a clasp to the back using your featherweight pins, if that's what you're actually thinking about, is how you added a connector or a clasp to the chain.
And you can actually, this is the head pin gone through. You can actually, crimp these if you do want to use it as a clasp. You can actually crimp them in the cord ends as well, can't you?
You can do.
So if you are having any difficulty with that, then I hope that does help. £18.95. Checking out your baskets, everyone. Amethyst chain. How beautiful is this? Lengthy, this. 50 centimetres it looks. Beautiful. A metre? No way. 925. Double wrap loop, so you've got one at either end and then it's got the 2 wraps around it. Tiny, intricate little loops on these. 20 carats worth of this amethyst in the faceted rondelles, 3x2. Now, these chains have been ever so popular when we've had them on recently and in the past. This is your beautiful amethyst. We've spoken about amethyst a bit today. We've talked about how, you know, it makes Pete feel passionate. We've also talked about the birthstone history to it. Also as well, used to be, or is thought to be, or has the name of, the gemstone that will dispel drunkenness for a few reasons. One, the Greek story based around Dionysus, and of course Amethyst, who he was absolutely in love with, and sadly the feelings were not reciprocated. He only went and set the lions on her. I know, what a nightmare. Jeremy Kyle, eat your heart out in them days, right? Awful. And then he was said to have cried tears of wine, and that coloured a frozen and quartzite amethyst and gave it this colouring. Another reason it's thought to have that kind of history or that idea behind it is because it was said that in the day, in ancient times, the elders and lords and ladies used to make their drinking glasses, their goblets, out of amethyst, and that was so that you could fill your glass as the Lord, perhaps trying to get your own way, or perhaps trying to make a deal with some of your guests. You could fill your glass with water and theirs with wine, but just due to the coloration of the gemstone itself, it would look like you two were partaking in the frivolity and the drinking, when actually you were remaining completely sober, which meant that people were more likely to perhaps agree in their drunken stupor to what you were very soberly suggesting and saying. Meters worth of this today, 925, and genuine amethyst, £21.95 for you today. That's exceptional, isn't it? If you think about the length of this, let me think of it as a bracelet. I've got 1 bracelet, 2 bracelets, 3 bracelets, 4 bracelets, 5 bracelets, 6 bracelets. I've got 6 bracelets and a pair of earrings, essentially, because I've got a bit left over there. And that's of course, ignoring a clasp. If you had a clasp on there, you probably would be able to do 7 bracelets. Think of that. If you're making, say, 7 bracelets out of this, or let's say 6 bracelets and a pair of earrings, how much is that working out at? £21.95. That would be divided by 7, because I'm doing 6, and I'm doing 6 bracelets and a pair of earrings. Say that to me again, love. £3.14 for 925, and for amethyst, you know already that your minimum for a pair of earrings, and I mean by a pair I mean a link of each, you're gonna minimum be charging a £5, because it's 925 and it's amethyst. Of course you are. You're going to be charging way more than that for a bracelet, aren't you? It's 925. What are you thinking? £25, £30? Do you know, have you ever tried to do wrapped loops before for a meter's worth? If you haven't, don't give it a go. Really, do not give it a go. Because Debbie Wolford said that she's tried to do a tiny stretch of it before, about 50 centimetres, about half a metre, and it's taken her literally hours to complete. There's no need to, I suppose, when you've got the opportunity to work with 925 that's already been worked. £21.95 for you on that today. It really is exceptional. We're heading over here. Hi, Jill.
Hi.
How was challenge?
Well, not bad given I've done it all in 50 minutes.
I think you've done a massive amount in such a short space of time. You look like you had fun with it, actually.
I did. It's so pretty. It really is. The pearls, the iridescence from the pearls and the clear quartz together. It's beautiful.
How have you created this piece
I
here?
have linked I've used a piece of beading thread and I've alternated my pearls, a spacer bead from the Findings pack and the offset quartz, which is why you get that angle, and then I've used crimp to the end and attached some chain at the back. So very, very simple technique, but very, very effective. Yeah, a lovely bridesmaids piece, or if you wanted to, a simple piece, blue for a bride would even work, wouldn't it? Depending on your clothing.
True. Very true, depending on the theme and the colour theme.
Yeah.
Just to let you know, the info is on your screen at the moment. Dramatic price drop for this. £14.95 for 3 strands of gemstones. You had these huge 12mm baby blue shell pearls. You also had the top drilled at the corner white quartz that you can see that we've used on the necklace. 10mm on those. And then you had the drops as well, which I will hold up. We'll show you those in the piece in a moment. 80 carats worth of these drops you had. And look at how much you've got left over.
Loads. Absolutely
Loads and loads and loads. That's a massive amount.
Yep. Yeah, it really is a massive
That's
amount.
wonderful.
And I've got 4 pieces there to, yeah, and I've still could do loads more. Yeah, if you really wanted to, you could probably make enough, a suite of jewellery for every member of your immediate bridal party. So matron of honour, bridesmaids, flower girls, without needing to buy any more. But yeah, that's a cracking price, isn't it?
That's it, it truly is. Jill, thank you so
You're
much
welcome.
for that. Isn't that a beautiful collection? You can have a go at this and so much more, because look how much Jill's got left for just £14.95. I need to make you aware that at the bottom of your screen right now, you can see our trade show offer. That is the big one. It was working out just over £3 per pack as opposed to nearly £8. £4 in fact on the nose it was, wasn't it? Yeah, it was £4 on the nose. It's half price essentially. £20 for 5 packs of those silver findings. Stunning. Jill, thank you very much for today. Have you had a good day?
I've had a fantastic day, thank you.
Good,
I
I'm
think
glad.
lack of sleep's catching up on me now.
Possibly a little bit, bless you. When are you with us next, my love?
The 20th of July.
The 20th of July, so not too far off then.
Not at all.
Good, I cannot wait. Thank you so much for today. It's been really lovely seeing you creating those cabs for the first time. I can't, it's just great. It just went to show, and I hope loads of you gave it a go at home as well. Thank you for joining myself and Jill today. I have got the dog show with Alison for you tomorrow, and after the break, the late show. See you in a minute.
If you miss a Jewellery Maker show, then simply go to our YouTube page where you'll be able to find hours of Jewellery Maker footage. Search by show, date or type. Alternatively, search by guest designer by using our playlist.